on. Next horse to arrive is Ali Lagris. Vladimir Panov in the saddle here for this Japan filly, Japan's first 2-year-olds this year. So interesting to see how these fare on. And now people just trying to load the number 1, Anno Solero, with Martin Seidel in the saddle. Just getting ready to load. Just needs a little bit help, Anno Solero, but looks good. Here we go. And they're almost in. There we are with Anno Solero. And there is the number 5, and number 9 is getting ready after that. Number 5, Waldemar, trained by Sasha Smircek, who we heard from as well. Alexander Peach in the saddle. Of course, the 2-year-olds, sometimes not as experienced. Waldemar only had 2 runs so far, so starting still seems a little tougher, but here we are also inside of the gate, and here we see number 9, La Spezia, second runner for Sasha Smircek by Zaikan Ganbat in the saddle. Just having a quick look there. Here we go, easy. And next horse to come up is the number 8, Be My Person, Mikaela Malakova. No problem at all. Next horses, we see the number 3 coming up. Tora Hammer Hansen, champion jockey last year and well on his way to be the champion jockey this year again. Also went in with no problem. Number 4 is the next one. Vukovino, the Roland Jubash runner. Also needs a little bit of help here, but here we go. And now there's only 2 more horses outside of the gates. The number 10 and the number 2 were almost ready, and we go over to Patrick.
So Perito is coming forward now. Looks like he's the one to complete the lineup. I think all 10 are set. Perito's just gone in. All set, under orders. Oh no, and Perito's broken through the stalls, and Elmo has broken through the stalls as well. So, fortunately, Leon Wolf and Tore Hammer Hansen have managed to pull their horses up very quickly indeed. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a delay of more than a minute or so, as Perito and Elmo are taken back behind the stalls. Shouldn't be more than a minute or so. You can see the stalls team very, very quickly in action there. And they're going to put these 2 back straight in. Perito possibly just getting a little bit worked up now. Elmo seems to have handled that quite comfortably. Certainly not ideal. Perito coming forward once again. And Perito has gone in. So now it's Elmo to complete the lineup. Take 2. Elmo's in. And another stall has opened, and this time we have 2 loose horses. Vukovino is the one who's running loose on the track now. So I fear there is going to be... Oh, and Perito has run loose on the track as well. So we have 2 loose horses, Vukovino and Perito. And that means a fairly significant delay, I would imagine. Elmo has now come out of the stalls as well. So we have Vukovino and Perito running loose on the track. And that will certainly cause a fairly lengthy delay, I would imagine. Got to catch those loose horses. Obviously, the other ones will be taken out of the stalls and we'll just mill around behind. Don't know if Eleanor's still down at the starting gates and whether she's gathered any information. They're just taking Be My Person out. And the last one to back out will be Wild Cooper. So we have somewhere out on the course 2 loose horses. And I suppose there must be now some question mark as to whether Perito and Vucovino will actually take part in this race. Well, I fear we're in for at least a 5-minute delay, possibly longer. It really depends how quickly the two loose horses can be caught. Can now see various stable staff moving down to where the horses are. So there's some rather disconsolate jockeys. Leon Wolf, jockey of Perito, and David Liska, jockey of Vucovino, particularly. Well, the betting market has now been suspended, and so we wait to see which of these horses is going to be, if any, is going to be withdrawn. Well, I think Eleanor maybe has some more information for us.
Patrick, so far no further info. I see Leon Wolf and David Liska now leaving the track, going into the infield. Don't know if they already know if they're going to be scratched. Hang on 1 second. Okay, so I just confirmed with Leon Wolf, both are being scratched. So the jockeys are just now leaving. Both horses, according to Leon Wolf, are being scratched. So we're just waiting for them to be caught so that we don't have them loose on the racetrack anymore. And then hopefully we'll be set and ready to go into this 2-year-old race. Sean Byrne has also dismounted and is leading up his horses, leading Wild Cooper. Tore Hammer Hansen has also dismounted and is just waiting for everyone to get ready again. So both of the horses, the number 4 and the number 2, are scratched out of the race and are non-runners. And we just wait for them to be caught. Maybe, Patrick, you have a better overview of the track and can see if they're close to catching the horses. And that will, of course, tell us how fast we'll go into this race.
Unfortunately, I don't, but I would imagine they would. Looks as if, or it sounds as if, they've caught the two loose horses now. No, apparently not. I'm getting word from behind the scenes, people with a better view than I have. Now, one of them has been caught, apparently. So we're still waiting for news that the second has been. But just to confirm that the 2 and 4 horses have both been scratched now. So the field is down to 8. Well, there you can see Vucovino is, in fact, both of them. Both Vucovino and Perito have safely been caught down at the start. They appear to be none the worse for their excursions. And just see Tore Hammer Hansen still standing on the infield. No particular reason why Elmo shouldn't take part, and I think Elmo is going to take part. But there you can see the 2 horses who did break through the front of the stalls. They've now safely been caught. All appears well with those 2.
Patrick, I think they are now getting the signal here at the starting stall that they're almost ready to load. They've caught both horses. Tore Hammer Hansen is still not back on the saddle, so they haven't started reloading the horses yet. But it does seem like they're just about ready. But the grooms here at the starting gates haven't taken the horses by the reins again, so we can't quite tell here what they're still waiting for, as both horses have been caught. So We hope that we will be starting to load shortly. I'll give you another heads up once I can tell that they're starting again.
Well, thank you for that, Eleanor. Just to say that the market has now been reformed, as it were, following that withdrawal, and Elmo is going to go off what looks like around about an even money chance now, following those two withdrawals, with Gris at 5.1 and Valdemar, a bit of late money for that one at 5.2, and a Solero at 8. Still not sure whether those were final prices or whether the market is still open. Just waiting now to see whether they're going to load up very shortly. I would imagine they would. The two loose horses have been caught, so it's just a matter of getting them off the track.
So, Patrick, we've just heard that 1:48 is apparently the new starting time. So people here are just getting ready. If you want to hang on 1 second. So 1:48 is the new time that we are running this race. So everyone here is just getting ready. I've just got confirmation from the head steward here at the starting stalls that 1:48 is the new time that they're getting ready. So now just about getting ready. Tora Hammer Hansen, as you can see, still on the ground, not yet back in the saddle. So we are just waiting at the starting gate for the rest of the people to get back, because some of the grooms here at the starting stalls have left to try and catch the horses that were loose, and we're just waiting for them to get back to the starting gates to help load all of the horses. So that's the reason for the delay just now, that we are waiting for the rest of the staff to arrive back. And as of now, I cannot see the car anywhere arriving, but they should be here shortly, and then we will get on loading horses again.
Well, it's nothing like having a reporter on the spot. Thank you, Eleanor. That 1:48 time that Eleanor gave us, it's only about 2 minutes away, so that was the planned start time. Might be a little bit ambitious if we don't have any stalls operatives to put the horses into the stalls. Meanwhile, the rest of them are staying nice and relaxed. Just wandering round patiently.
We're now seeing the car arriving back with staff. So Patrick, we're just about getting ready. So they're just arriving back, and they should all get ready soon. I think Tora Hammer Hansen is about to, yes, he's just finding his horse now as well. So Tora Hammer Hansen is mounting now. All of the stalls operators are now running towards us, crossing the track to get back to the starting gates. And everyone's now preparing. Tora Hammer Hansen finding his mount again, getting back on Elmo. And then we're getting ready. All right, so just getting some final orders here to be quick about it now. And we are now starting with the number 6, Wild Cooper, same order as we did last time. And let's hope everyone's just loading easily now. There we have Wild Cooper loading easy as he did the last time. And the next one coming up, Gris, Janina Reze. Moving up, the number 7. Number 1, again, not too keen about the starting stalls. Anno Solero, same as last time as well. Martin Seidel, really relaxed in the saddle though. Getting ready to move Anno Solero into the starting stalls. Well done, they're in as well. Next up is Valdemar, Alexander Peach getting ready as well. All of the ones that are in the machines as of now, being really calm. Now Valdemar giving them a little bit of trouble. They're in as well though. Only 4 more horses that we're waiting for. The number 9 going in, no trouble. And there's only 3 more. And Patrick, here we go again. Back to you.
So here we go again, take 3. This is Be My Person going in. Here's the favourite, Elmo, coming forward. Elmo and Tore Hammer Hansen will be the second last to go in, and Night Session will be the last for Anna van den Troost. All 8 set, under orders. And away they go for the 5th of the afternoon, 1,600 metres. The distance in front of them. Night Session got a nice start on the outside, as did the favourite Elmo. And as they settle down, it's probably just about Elmo with the sheepskin noseband, who's pulling very hard indeed and doesn't seem to want to be in front, being joined by Night Session, and on the wide outside, Be My Person. Green jacket on the inner of Wild Cooper. Those are the front 4. La Spezia just behind in 5th. Another one pulling in 6th is Valdemar. And then further behind, we have the blue and white of Anno Solero and Allez la Grise. So as they race down the far side, it's Be My Person, and Michaela Malakova is now gone to the lead and goes on by a couple of lengths. On the outer, Night Session in 2nd. Settling better now in 3rd is Elmo. Then round the outside, Valdemar, the red sleeves, races 4th with Wild Cooper. Then the yellow of La Spezia. Following La Spezia, Anno Solero and Allez la Grise at the back of the field, as they now make the swing back towards the home straight. So past the halfway point, and Be My Person will lead them into the home straight. 600 metres still in front of them. Night Session follows. Elmo on the inside, still racing 3rd. Nice gaps opened up for that one. Now making ground on the outside, Allez la Grise in a solid forward movement. Valdemar's also picking up on the outside, and it's the group on the outside who've now come through, Allez la Grise and Valdemar, to pick up the running. Elmo leads those on the inside, but it's Allez la Grise on the near side in a battle with Valdemar. It seems to be between those two. Elmo at one pace in 3rd, Allez la Grise near side, Valdemar far side. Valdemar just getting the upper hand. Valdemar's won it from Allez la Grise 2nd. Elmo a solid race in 3rd, and Anno Solero never nearer in 4th. So it's a win for number 5, Valdemar, for Sasha Smirzek and Alex Peach. Well, we heard Sasha Smirzek's giving slight doubt about Valdemar's abilities over 1,600 metres, and saying that Valdemar also would need a solid pace. Well, he didn't get the pace, but he certainly saved the 1,600 metres, and was left to battle it out with Allez la Grise in the closing stages. Allez la Grise on the near side and Valdemar on the far side, but every metre of that 1,600 was what Valdemar needed. Those two pulled away from Elmo, who wasn't given an over-hard race in 3rd. He pulled early, and I still think Elmo remains a decent prospect for next year. Just watching the head-on there, it's the horses who came down the outside who dominated in the closing stages. Anno Solero was put in with every chance, as was La Spezia on the outside, but those two in the end found wanting, and it was left to Allez la Grise and Valdemar to fight out the finish. Valdemar just slightly hanging towards the outside and pushing Allez la Grise towards the outer as well. Don't think that's influenced the result at all. Watching once again, can see Elmo gets that beautiful split up the inside, but I think possibly Elmo's chances have been rather compromised in the early stages by that pull, and also the incident down at the start seemed to have stirred up Elmo more than some of the other runners. And here you can see Valdemar and Alex Peach just seeing off Allez la Grise. I must say, 200 metres out, it looked like Allez la Grise was the likely winner, but Valdemar picked up again and again, and eventually came out maybe a third of a length, maybe a neck on top. And there is the winner Valdemar and Alex Peach. No doubt Lena will catch up with connections shortly. Well, we can go over to Elena now.
And Patrick, we are here on the track just waiting for Thorsten Kassel to finish his interview with Alexander Peach. And then, of course, we want to get a word in as well. And eine Sekunde noch. So Alexander Peach staying with us here. Congratulations, well done. A little bit of a rocky start, of course, but you kept your cool, and then it was a really tight finish, but well done of you guys.
Tja, war perfekt.
It was perfect. Nimm uns kurz einmal mit durchs Rennen, wie es für dich war, auch nach dem Fehlstart einmal.
Wir sollten uns eine Position im Mittelfeld suchen. Wir sind ja nicht davon ausgegangen, dass wir gewinnen. Demzufolge hatte ich mich konzentriert, dass wir um die ersten 7 Pferde landen, wo die Geldpreise ausgeschrieben waren. Und erst im Schlussbogen konnte ich erkennen, dass wir sogar gewinnen können.
So he just told us that he was supposed to stay within the first couple of horses, and he found a great place at 7th. And then in the final turn, he already knew that there was a chance that he could still win the race and that he had enough power to go all the way. So congratulations to Alexander Peach and Waldemar, and we'll have another look at the race with you, Patrick.
Well, a chance to look back at how the race unfolded. I think probably the early stages are pretty important because 1 or 2 of the horses really didn't do their chances much good by pulling right at the start. You can see Allez Le Gris was a little bit keen, although that was soon sorted out by Vladimir Panov, who managed to get a decent lead. You can also see the eventual winner, Waldemar, was a bit keen at the back of the field as well, but Alex Peach wisely deciding to find a lead. Elmo was the other one who pulled pretty hard in the early stages, but Waldemar just being allowed to move up on the outside, going into about 4th position as Be My Person, led them into the home turn. Night Session had 2nd. Elmo nicely positioned on the inside in 3rd, but Waldemar had improved round the outer into 4th as they came towards the home turn. Allez Le Gris was just kept quiet at the back of the field, and it looked when they turned into the home straight as if Allez Le Gris and Vladimir Panov had timed their run really well. They just moved towards the outside and seemed to be just picking them off one by one at this stage. And here I really thought that Allez Le Gris was going to go on and win this by a couple of lengths, but it was Waldemar who showed staying potential that trainer, judging by his interview before the race, hadn't really been sure was there. And he just kept finding, kept pulling out. You could see it's really, in the end, just hands and heels from Alex Peach on Waldemar. He didn't have to get too serious, and the horse responded really well to his urgings and went on to win it by, I'd say, just over a neck. So perhaps surprise result, both for punters and for connections. I think they were rather fancying the chances of La Spezia more than Waldemar, but it was Waldemar who came out on top. Allez Le Gris, plenty to like about that performance in 2nd, and also I would think plenty to like about the performance of Elmo in 3rd. As Tore Hammer Hansen was saying, be working well at home, but they've really got their eyes on Elmo as a 3-year-old more than as a 2-year-old, and I think we might find Elmo is a very decent 3-year-old indeed. Just watching Tore Hammer Hansen on the inside on Elmo. Yeah, just an educational run, I'd say. Nothing wrong with it at all, because I think he realises that he could really get serious with the horse and still not win. And I think that's a run with next year in mind. So here once again, just watching the eventual battle between the 2 primaries, Waldemar and Allez Le Gris. And victory in the end going to the Sascha Schmielzek trained Waldemar, the ride of Alex Peach. Well, an eventful first race.
The winners' enclosure now getting ready for the winning ceremony for the team. Sascha Smircek still just in the interview with our colleague Torsten Kassel in the German interview. Of course, we spoke to Sascha Smircek before, and it did go as he wanted it to. He told us that he wanted the horse to be just settled into the middle of the field, and we heard from the jockey, Mr. Peach, that that was exactly how he handled it. Well done that they kept their cool after this bit of delay in the beginning and the second start with our teams here and the 2-year-olds. And now we're getting ready for the winning ceremony for this 5th race, for the BBAG auction race. Everyone's here and we are just waiting for them to get onto the podium. And here they are, Sascha Smircek and Alexander Peach and Mr. Motschmann, president of the racecourse in Munich. And bred by the Röttgen farm. Waldemar is bred by the Röttgen stud and owned by Mr. Holger Renz in Cologne. And Alexander Peach was in the saddle and he's just getting his applause here from the audience in Munich. The prizes are being handed over also by Ms. Sarah Steinberg, who trains here in Munich. René Picholek is also handing over prizes, of course, because this is a memorial race for Mr. Hans-Gerd Wernicke, who was a big owner for Sarah Steinberg and René Picholek, who passed this year. And this race was in his honor. So here they are. We have all the prizes being handed over. Everyone receiving congratulations from Mr. Sascha Multerer. And here they all are, ready to receive everyone's applause after this 5th race, the BBAG auction race, won by Waldemar. And we are going right into the next race, the 6th race of the day, the Hong Kong Jockey Club World Pool Handicap, a Class 4 handicap over 1,600 meters. With the number 1, we have Quick and Wild, written by Senan McRedmond. The number 2, Lex Luthor and Mikaela Malakova. With the number 3, Aquinoctium and Milan Zatlukal. The number 4, Belisaire and Matthew Johnson. With the number 4, we have Aguna and Marie Gast. The number 6, Invincible Royal and Eduardo Pedrosa. With the number 7, we will see Otja Varongo and Ines Löwe. The number 8, Palimera and Leon Wolf. With the number 9, we will see Amazing Luna and Martin Seidel. The number 10 will be carried by Repute and Vladimir Panov. With the number 11, Superjet and Mikhail Kadedou. The number 12, Picnic en Ville and Miguel Lopez. The number 13 is Super and Lily Marie Engels. With the number 14, Griddlebone and Michael Abig. The number 15, Poldi's Liebling and Tore Hammer Hansen. And the number 16, the last horse in this race, Ferrari Twister and Esantur Turganali Ulu. A big field, 16 horses, lots to talk about. Here's to you, Patrick.
Indeed, indeed. And the market leader, unfortunately for me, is the one I can't pronounce. It's Equinoc. I'm going to try this a few times. Equinoctium. Let's try that. That's the current favourite at 6.1. Then at 7.4, number 5, Aguna. 7.7, number 8, Palimera. At 9.6, number 10, Repute. And those are the only 4 horses in single figures in the market currently. So I'm going to get this wrong again. Equinoctium is the favourite at 6.1. Well, just having a look at 1 or 2 of them. Let's look at the market leaders. Equinoctium is very, very likely race, the most likely raced horse in the field. Just 6 starts, 1 win and 1 place. 5 of those runs have been at home in the Czech Republic and 1 in Germany. Was well beaten in Dresden, but has obviously very, very well fancied this afternoon. Although, having said that, there's now been a big change in the betting as number 5, Aguna, has replaced that one as market leader. Aguna a veteran of 43 races, winning 5 and being placed 7 times, is well proven at this level. 2 wins in his and 2 seconds in his last 5 runs. Obviously is going up in the weights, Aguna, but comes into this in better form than any other horse. But his weight rather reflects that. But her weight, I should say. She's a filly, or a mare even. She's 6 years old. And Aguna, obviously, people feeling, or connections feeling, that she's still got another win in her. As the runners now move round the pre-parade or the parade ring. Other ones who've been favourably mentioned in terms of the betting, they include, let's have a look, scroll through them. At 7.2 is number 8, Palimera. Palimera's raced 17 times, 1 win and 7 places. Is yet to win this year, but has been placed 3 times. And just the feeling that possibly Palimera is a little bit too high in the weights, but maybe she's come down enough now to be off a winning mark this afternoon. So just those 3 horses now in single figure numbers, just outside that bracket. At 10.2 is number 10, Repute. Repute, 53 runs in all, 5 wins and 12 places. And despite the fact that Repute is now 7 years old, probably just about in the best form of his life at the moment. Win and 3 places already this summer, but was a rather disappointing favourite last week in an amateur race at Cologne. Perhaps a long season catching up on Repute, but obviously connections feel that Repute's still got a decent run in him. Frank Furman, the trainer, Vladimir Panov, the jockey, on Repute, who's certainly one who comes here having put a good season's work behind him, and maybe just one more final blast of glory this afternoon at Munich. So the events before this race, I would imagine they'll just be speeding them up a little bit, trying to make up for a bit of lost time after all the shenanigans before our previous race. This current race is due off, well, according to time, in about 4 minutes. Obviously, it is going to be delayed. We'll see whether they can make up the lost time and perhaps get the big race off to time. But well, we can go over to Eleanor in the parade ring now.
Thank you, Patrick. And we want to hear from Eric Pills, sending the number 7 into this race, Oceavarongo, today here in Munich, having good form as this track. And what are you expecting today in this big field? Wie sind die Erwartungen heute in so einem großen Feld?
Ja, ich denke schon, dass er gute Vorstellung geben wird wieder. Er liebt den Boden. Wollen wir das Beste hoffen.
He loves the ground, so we are hoping for a really good performance again. So are we expecting him to make it another win right away? Erwarten wir direkt nochmal einen Sieg?
Das wäre schön. Ich hätte nichts dagegen.
Wouldn't have anything against it, so hopeful for that. Thank you very much. Good luck. Vielen Dank.
Danke auch.
So that was Erich Pilz to his runner, the number 7, also a horse with a difficult to pronounce name, Oceavarongo. And so hopeful for him to be able to make it another win right away here in Munich. Told us that he does like the ground very well and he can perform on the softer ground. So hopeful for the number 7. Back to you, Patrick.
Well, in a race of this nature, of course, it is so difficult to call because there are 16 runners. All of them at the end of the season will be trying their very hardest, and some of them will have lost form, some will find a bit of late form, but one certainly I think who was well worth a look was Amazing Luna, the 9 horse. Amazing Luna, winner of 1, placed in 4 of 16 outings so far. Certainly likes this track, was a winner here in June and has run well in a couple of handicaps since then and was third last time out behind Ochitwarongo and Lex Luthor, and Amazing Luna, who's currently priced at 13.2, might just represent a little bit of value. I'm hoping that Eleanor will catch up with trainer Michael Figger in due course. Just watching other ones come through shot now. There's number 8, Palimero. We've already talked about that one. There's number 7, Ochitwarongo, who was a surprise winner of a 1,500-metre handicap here last month, beating a couple of today's rivals, Lex Luthor and Belissaire. Looks to me as if that was the secret to that surprise win, was that Ochitwarongo had been upped in trip to 1,500 metres, goes up again to 1,600, had been plying his trade over much shorter distances, been racing around 1,200, 1,100, but seemed to relish the increase in distance, and maybe the 1,600 might bring out further improvement, and 14.4, the market price for Ochitwarongo currently, is certainly one that would appeal. Now, as I hoped, we are going to catch up with Michael Figger, who is responsible for the 9-horse Amazing Luna.
Michael Figge with us today. Thank you for being with us. In the sixth race, you have 2 runners. We'll start out with the number 5, Aguna, ridden by Marie Gast. Trained at this track for you and showing constantly good forms. How are you feeling about her chances in this bigger field today?
I think Aguna should have a good chance. She's good in form, but yesterday she was still a little bit hot, Rossig, and in these moments she cannot show her full potential, her full performance, but today when she's happy, I think she has got a good chance, but maybe a little bit better chance should have Amazing Luna in the same race.
So Aguna a little bit in season yesterday, but today probably better. And then you already said your second runner, the number 9, Amazing Luna, ridden by Martin Seidel. Your second runner, and how are the chances here? You already said maybe a little bit better.
Yes, I think a little bit better, because last time she had a bad start and finished really strong. And when she has got a better start today, then she can win, I think.
Thank you very much. Good luck with your runners.
Thank you.
Well, that really is interesting. Michael Figger, who's responsible for the favourite, Aguna, has given Aguna just a little bit of a swerve. That one, the market leader at 5.3. And then we've got Amazing Luna at 12.7, double the price of Aguna. And Michael Figger saying that he thinks Amazing Luna has the better chance. So make of that what you will. I must say, Amazing Luna was one I quite like the look of as well on form. It doesn't, my opinion, doesn't really match up with Michael Figger's, the trainers, but certainly that is a very interesting snippet from the interview concerning his 2 runners. We shall see. We shall see. And now we can go over to the parade ring once again, and the trainer of Lex Luthor is with Eleanor.
Fabian Xaver Weisweier with us today here for his runner in the 6th race, the number 2, Lex Luthor, ridden by Mikaela Malakova. He was ahead of 3 of the competitors when he reached a 2nd place here in Munich 2 weeks ago. How are you viewing his chances today?
Yes, he is an old horse. Sometimes he has good form, sometimes not. The last time he was 2nd. We don't change the rider. Mikaela Malakova know him and he liked the ground, so we hope for a good place.
So just as you did 2 weeks ago, we'll just go with the 2nd place or even the 1st place again in Munich?
Yes, the short time is no problem for him. No, we want to win.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
So one of many horses with chances here, as the trainer was saying there, Lex Luthor, sometimes with these older handicappers, sometimes they fancy it, sometimes they don't, or sometimes they fancy it a little bit less, and that little bit less is the difference between a place and a midfield finish. So Lex Luthor, now an 8-year-old, has raced no less than 83 times, but has paid his way. 6 wins and 23 places. Tough as teak, this one, and was back to form here only a couple of weeks ago over 1,500 metres. And if he can repeat that run, then certainly he's in with a shout. Just going through shot there, the orange jacket of Poldy's Liebling. Well, if you thought Lex Luthor was a hardened campaigner, Poldy's Liebling is now 10 years old and still consistent. Certainly, despite the fact that Poldy's Liebling hasn't won for 3 years, certainly not without a chance of placing this afternoon. Just going back once again to the betting. Well, Aguna, despite the words of caution issued by Michael Figger, the trainer, Aguna still leading the market at 5.2. 7.2, number 8, Palimero. At 8.7, number 3, Aquinoctium. I'm getting better at it now. Aquinoctium, 8.7, that one. And then at 10.5, number 10, Repute. And at 11.9, number 9, Amazing Luna. So it looks as if all the jockeys are mounted up. So we'll just have a chance to have a look at them, identify some colours. There's Ferrari Twister, just leading the parade ring. Following the 10-year-old Poldy's Liebling out towards the side of the track. Just a reminder that this is a 1,600-metre grade 4 handicap. Now coming out onto the course, Picnic en Ville for Miguel Lopez. Picnic en Ville is the first actually onto the race course. Reminder, we are running behind time, so I think they're going to be as quick as they can to get them down to the start and get them dispatched. Now we're hearing that they're hoping to get this race off at 14:22, so that is in about 6 minutes. As we watch the 12-horse Picnic en Ville going down to post. And we can go back over to Eleanor, who's caught up with Jutta Meier.
Jutta Meier, also a trainer today with us from Munich, and we're speaking about 3 runners that you're sending into this race. We'll start off with the number 15, Poldy's Liebling, ridden by the champion jockey Tore Hammer Hansen. Always runs well with the champion jockey as well in the saddle, but has to carry 1.5 kilos extra weight. What are you expecting in this really big field? Heute mit Tore Hammer Hansen, natürlich dem champion jockey, aber 1,5 Kilo mehr Gewicht auch.
I think Tore is the weight, is good for the weight. 1.5 kilo more.
Okay, of course, he will make up the 1.5 kilo that he has to carry extra. So are we expecting a really good run again? Are we maybe expecting even a win? Erwarten wir heute auch einen Sieg?
I don't think so. It's an old horse, but I think we get the money.
Okay, so we'll be running into the money places. And we'll go now to your other runners in the race. The number 16, Ferrari Twister, ridden by Esantur Tuganali Ulu. Second runner for you in this race, ran second at this track 2 weeks ago. How are you feeling about him today?
It's the same game. The horse, this weight, he can no more. When we get the money, it's very good.
So you have Esantur Tuganali Ulu in the saddle, who's a great apprentice, who of course takes off some weight. And so another horse that will go into the first couple of places. And then you also have the number 14, Griddlebone, with Michael Abig in the saddle. Ran 10 times so far, only placed once until now. So long odds for her today. What can you tell us about Griddlebone?
She's a very difficult horse. When she gets her nerves, she's good. She gets a little bit nervous.
She gets in her head a little bit. So we are expecting a good run if she's feeling well.
Well, my feeling is well, but the best horse in this race for my horses is Poldy's Liebling.
Thank you very much. Out of the 3, Poldy's Liebling will be the favorite. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.
So Poldy's Liebling is the choice of Jutta Meyer, who's responsible for 3 of the runners, the 3 at the bottom of the card, Goodelbone, Poldy's Liebling and Ferrari Twister. So runners are now all on the track, and we're seeing 2 of Jutta Meyer's horses there. And runners now arriving down at the 1600 metre start. And there's Ferrari Twister with Poldy's Liebling, I should say. Still, it's Aguna reigning at the top of the betting at 5.6 with Palomera 7.7. 9.6 Quick and Wild, bit of money for the top weight. 9.8 Equinoctium. Then at 11 Amazing Luna, and at 10.7 Repute. So now a chance to see them down at the start. There's Ferrari Twister in the yellow and white. In the background is the 8-horse Palomera in the black and yellow. Couple of greys in the field. Lex Luthor is one of those. The 2-horse, the other being Amazing Luna, number 9. So I would think that they're going to start loading them into the stalls fairly quickly. Brown jacket with the light blue sleeves there is Ochitwarongo. And Eleanor is now down at the start, I do believe.
Yes, Patrick, I am. You said it's so good to have someone on the ground, so we're at the starting stalls again, expecting a smoother loading this time, though. So they're just getting ready to load. We're waiting for one more horse where the jockey is making its way to the starting gates on foot. I can't quite tell who that is yet. I think it's Aguna coming, just the jockey jogging next to the horse, making his way to the starting stalls. 2 horses have already loaded, but we're waiting for even one more to arrive here at the starting stalls. Just a quick inside scoop from our expert who's commentating for Germany. He said the number 12, Picnic en Ville, he thinks has really long odds at the betting market, even though he says the horse is especially known for this ground and on this track, has won on this track and on this ground before. So he says maybe that's a horse that's a little underrated in this race. So just one more inside from the ground to everyone. And now here we see Aguna as well. Marie Gast just mounted the horse again, and they're trying to load as quick as possible. Quick and Wild just coming forward there. There's another 9 or 10 horses still outside of the gate. The next 2 come close is the number 9. Number 9 now moving forward. Amazing Luna and Martin Seidel, they're now inside, and we can see the number 4 coming up, Belisea also, no problem going in. But then we have Lex Luthor, but also there we go, and we're in. And there's another 6 horses still outside. The 5 is in as well. Next one to come up is the number 3 that, Patrick, I'm also not going to try and pronounce. The number 3 together with Milan Zatlukal also moving in. And now there's only 4 more horses left. So, Patrick, I think they're moving quickly. So back to you.
Equinoctium has just gone in, being followed by Superjet. Then on the outside, the yellow sleeves of Repute. Poldy's Liebling, the 10-year-old, now comes forward. So it looks like we're down to the last 2. Invincible Royale's going in, to be followed by Picnic en Ville. And then the 16 of them will all be set under orders. And away they go, first time, 1,600 metres. The distance in front of them, one chased along in the early stages, is Amazing Luna. Sticking right towards the outside, Picnic en Ville, as the early lead is taken on by Ochitwarongo. That one being joined by the green jacket of Invincible Royale, who now picks it up. These two followed by Ferrari Twister. Also in the leading group is Griddlebone. Repute following those. Now tacking over to join the others is Picnic Ormville. Sticking towards the inside, Ochitwarongo is being followed there by Super. And just behind Super, also towards the inner, is Lex Luthor. So going already towards the home turn in Invincible Royale and Eduardo Pedrosa, leading the way to Ochitwarongo in second, Ferrari Twister third, Picnic Ormville races fourth. They're being chased up by the green jacket of Griddlebone, who's moved into fifth. Behind Griddlebone is Aquanoctium. Then Repute on the outside. On the inner of this pair is Super. Further back down the field, Belissaire. Chasing Belissaire on the inside is Lex Luthor, with Palomera on the outer as they make the turn into the straight and past the 500. And it's Invincible Royale showing by a couple of lengths. Here on the outside, Picnic Ormville is now laying down a challenge. Aquanoctium is coming there on the outside. Look on the wide outside to Repute. Also picking up Amazing Luna, the grey on the wide outside. Plenty of chances. Aquanoctium's got to the front now. Belissaire is picking up behind that one. It's Aquanoctium being followed by Belissaire. Then Poldy's Liebling's finishing well behind those. But Aquanoctium has the lead from Belissaire and Poldy's Liebling. Aquanoctium goes on to victory. Close call for second. Belissaire maybe in a photo with Poldy's Liebling, and a photo back for fourth position with Aquanoctium. The three horse coming home in front there. The unpronounceable Aquanoctium. I just about got used to it during the course of that race. So Aquanoctium is our winner, coming home in front. It was a hard-fought victory, but Aquanoctium proved the toughest of them all. There were some promising runs down the outside from Repute and from Amazing Luna, but they didn't quite get there as Aquanoctium saw off the attentions of Belissaire. Poldy's Liebling, the 10-year-old, finished solidly on the inside. Up on the outer, probably for fourth, Amazing Luna, just in front of Repute. So watching the head-on once again, Aquanoctium, those black and white checked sleeves with the red cap. Looked at one stage as if Picnic Ormville might run through them all, but that one just faded slightly in the closing stages. Aquanoctium came with that challenge about 200 metres out. Belissaire loomed up on the outside, the black jacket with the pink sleeves. On the wide outside was Amazing Luna. On the inner of that one was Repute. And Poldy's Liebling, probably the one staying on best of all in the closing stages. And those five got a little bit clear of the others. Disappointing favourite was Aguna. Just watching once again as Aquanoctium comes through, gets on terms with the leader Picnic Ormville, then goes on, but then Belissaire comes up on the outside. Amazing Luna and Repute were also battling away. But look at how old Poldy's Liebling has stayed on in the closing stages. Never looked likely to catch this leader, but stayed on strongly for a share of the prize money. Aquanoctium, the winner. Looks like probably Belissaire holding on for second in front of Poldy's Liebling. That's yet to be confirmed. In fact, I'm going to confirm it now. Poldy's Liebling was third. Yeah, Belissaire held on for second. Poldy's Liebling third. Amazing Luna, the four horse, has been called fourth. And Repute was fifth. And let's go over to Eleanor trackside.
Thank you very much, Patrick. And we're on the track just waiting to get a quick interview with Milan Zatlukal. I'm trying to hear which language he's just speaking in the German broadcasting, because I'm not quite sure how English is going to work or German, but it feels like he speaks German, so we'll be able to get either an English or a German interview. And here we go. Congratulations, just one more second. Okay. All right, and here they go. They were just in a rush to get back. So we'll try and get an interview as soon as we're in the winning enclosure, and then try and speak to the trainer and or the jockey. So let's have another look at the race with Patrick.
A chance to go back right to the start and see how the race developed. The eventual winner, Equinoctium, was one of the best away, but just nicely tucked in behind the front pair. It was eventually, once they'd settled down, Invincible Royale and Eddie Pedrosa who went to the lead, with Ochitawarongo, who got a lovely run through on the inside in second, although didn't pay any dividends in the end. Ferrari Twister was always prominent, as was Griddlebone, although it was the stablemate of those two, Poldy's Liebling, who eventually finished well in front of them. You can see Poldy's Liebling is almost, well, is almost tailed off at this stage, is about 3 or 4 lengths behind all the others. That's a remarkable performance that Poldy's Liebling got through for third position. So as they made the turn back towards the straight, Invincible Royale was travelling strongly enough, had got those behind at work, or a couple of those behind at work, and it was the eventual winner, Equinoctium, who now just eased towards the outside, but was having to work quite hard to pick up the front 2 or 3. Eventually, the long-time leader, Invincible Royale, began to fade on the inside, and Equinoctium and Belissaire, an amazing Lunar and Repute, all moved up on the outer, and it was Equinoctium who was just about the strongest of those, but really the eye-catching run, I have to say it again, was Poldy's Liebling, who's come right from the back of the field to, in the end, dispute second and go home with third prize money. So Equinoctium is our winner. Just looking at my notes made before the race, Equinoctium trained in the Czech Republic. He's had 5 runs there and only 1 in Germany. He was well beaten on that 1 run in Germany at Dresden, but has come through strongly here. And Equinoctium, despite eventually going off quite a big outsider, was certainly, there was some early money for this one. On the first betting show that I looked at, Equinoctium was actually favourite and has come home a deserved winner. No fluke about that at all. Just seeing once again from the head-on how the race developed. Equinoctium moving up on the outside of Picnic-en-Ville. Belissaire came with a promising challenge, but never really quite got to grips with the leader, Equinoctium. Can see a lot of the runners finishing pretty tired in the end. This is it's not heavy ground, but it's reasonably testing. But the horse is going through it fairly well. And Equinoctium landing a very decent prize there for Czech connections. Belissaire giving a good run in second, without ever quite coming to terms with this winner. And Poldy's Liebling, the one who's really flying in the closing stages, picking up third money. So that's how they finished in the 6th race of the afternoon, the Hong Kong Jockey Cup Whirlpool Handicap. A win for the Czech raider Equinoctium.
And we are now in the winning enclosure, just waiting for everyone to get ready for the winning ceremony. Today here for the number 3, Equinoctium, written by Milan Zatlukal. And we'll try and get a quick word in with him, maybe right now. Can we just have... So just a quick question. Good race from you and strong finish in the end. Did you know that it was going to be this easy then in the finishing straight to go for the win? Haben Sie schon gemerkt, dass er im Sieg dann drin war in der Zielgeraden?
Auf Deutsch. Ich hatte gutes Rennen. Meine Pferd hatte sehr gut diese Schwerboden und hat Dreijährige. Die Dreijährige hat gehabt 61 Kilo und das ist gut, denke sehr gut Pferd für nächstes Jahr.
Thank you very much. Danke. So he just told us that he had a great race. He felt really well on the horse. He said it's exactly the right horse for this kind of ground, so for the softer to heavy ground. And he also said he's very happy and he thinks this will be a horse for a really great campaign also next year. So something to look forward to. And we have the jockey now ready for the winning ceremony. He's here on his own today. I think neither the trainer nor the owners are here today. So we will just see the Munich racetrack handing everything over to our jockey today. So lucky for him, lots of presents, lots of trophies, and today now being handed over by Sascha Multerer from the racetrack here in Munich. So there they are, Equinoctum, the 3-year-old colt by Penny's Picnic, owned by Excellent K in the Czech Republic. So here they are. Congratulations to Equinoctum. And we are now having a look at the next race, and that's the 7th race on today's card, the 3rd race for us, and this is named the Vetster.de Joints World Pool Handicap. It's a Class 4 handicap over 2,000 meters with a big field of 16 runners. With the number 1, Veneziana and Julian Sixt, the number 2, Nerio and Esontur Tuganali Ulu, with the number 3, Kelani and Ines Löwe. The number 4 will be carried by Monte Cristo Gold and Jacqueline Lacaille. With the number 5, we will see We No See with René Picholek, the number 6, Nayem Shalgoda and Tore Hammer Hansen. The number 7 will be Menuet and Mikael Kadedou, with the number 8, Aral and Mikael Abik. The number 9, Imani and Patrick Gibson, with the number 10, City Cat and Sean Byrne. The number 11 will be Phyllis and Mikaela Malakova, with the number 12, Maharani and Ulrike Timmermann, with the number 12. We just had the 12, so the number 13, Mr. Jury Twister and Leon Wolf, with the number 14, Night Glory and Mikaela Muzialova, the number 15, Aramis Algunay and Vladimir Panov, and the 16, No Stopping Her and Anna Vandentrost. So a big field for this 7th race. With us with another 4 runners in the 7th race of the day. We'll look at the number 2, Nerio, written by Esontur Tuganali Ulu. Won his last race at this track with more than 8 length and got 4 kilos extra for that win, but the apprentice in the saddle takes 2 of those off. Will we see him predominant again?
We will see. I have the horse for 3 weeks ago. I think the distance is a little bit short for him. We will see.
We will see a new horse in your stable. Good luck, fingers crossed. Let's look at the number 6, Nayem Shalgoda, ridden by Tore Hammer Hansen, a horse with good forms this year that has won at this track in Munich and with this rider before. What are you expecting for Nayem Shalgoda?
This is my mum horse. We go for this race. The last start, he is very good. Timuro say the same in Lyon, Paris. There was the ground very, very heavy, but I think it's the horse for this race.
Okay, so this is the horse to watch for this race. Let's have a quick look at the other 2 runners. The number 5, We No See, ridden by René Picholek. A 3rd horse for you. Looks like a little bit more of a long shot. What can you tell us about this horse?
It's the same. It's a little bit tricky. When she wants, she can enough, but she's a filly.
She's a filly who gets in her head sometimes and can be tricky. And also the number 13, Mr. Jury Twister, written by Leon Wolf, your 4th horse in this race, also with more of an outsider role, has run about much longer distances before. What is his preferred trip here? It's a little bit shorter today.
It's the same as by Nerio. The distance is a little bit short for him.
So distance a little bit short. Are we still expecting to maybe place in the first couple of places?
I think we can get the money.
All right, thank you very much. And the horse to watch for in this race is the number 6.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
So that was Jutta Meyer, who's very well represented in the upcoming handicap, the 7th race on the card. This is a grade 4 handicap over 2,000 metres, field of 16 in all. And in terms of the early betting, it's Najim Shalgoda, who's taken a firm hold of the market. I'm sure that price won't last, currently at 2.4, but you can be sure that that's going to go off much longer price, although Najim Shalgoda is certainly one of the horses who should attract interest. Dual winner earlier this year, but has struggled with his new handicap mark after those 2 victories in 4 races since. Just a question whether he's come down the market quite enough to figure this afternoon. Now, other ones worth considering, well, there's a lot of them. It's once again a very, very competitive handicap indeed. Menuet would certainly be one of the ones that plenty of people will be looking at. Menuet was a winner at Dusseldorf in May and might now just be back to a winning mark based on his 2nd at Baden-Baden last time out. And Menuet is one that you really can't overlook. Another one certainly worth close consideration is Nerio, also representing Jutta Meyer. The 2-horse Nerio could just be a handicap blot. He's only had 4 runs so far, but he won by 8.5 lengths here last month. He's gone up a lot in the weights for that, but Nerio is certainly the one that a lot of eyes will be drawn to. Not exactly coming in here with a lightweight, but got a very, very good claimer on board. And Nerio, as I said, might just be a blot on the handicap. No taking away from that wide margin victory last time out. So 16 of them in all for this 2,000 metre handicap. You can see the horses now in the parade ring. I think we can probably still ignore the market at this stage. There's obviously been a lot of early money for Najim Shalgoda, but that one will go on the drift quite considerably. I think Nerio and Menuet are likely to be the 2 that go off first and second favourites, with Najim Shalgoda just behind those. Another one worth considering is number 11, Phyllis. But we can go back now before we talk about the chance of Phyllis and join Eleanor in the parade ring.
Thank you. And we're here with Werner Glanz in the parade ring, sending 2 runners into this horse. We'll have a quick look at both of them. The number 1, Veneziana, ridden by Julian Sixt. What can we expect today? Wie sind heute die Erwartungen für Veneziana?
Also gut, wir tragen 64 Kilo, das ist natürlich Höchstgewicht. Boden ist vielleicht schon ein bisschen zu weich, sonst ist sie sehr gut drauf. Also ich hoffe, dass wir Platzgeld oder ein bisschen mehr noch abkriegen.
She's in very good form. The ground might be a little too soft, and of course we're carrying the highest weight. But we are hoping for a little money to be placed, or maybe even better. So we'll have another look at the number 11, the 2nd horse for you, Phyllis, ridden by Michaela Malakova. What are the expectations for the number 11 today? Wie sieht's mit den Erwartungen für die Elfe aus?
Ja, das schaut ein bisschen besser aus, weil die war das letzte Mal Zweiter und die erwarte ich richtig im Endkampf. Wenn sie ein sauberes Rennen hat, dann erwarte ich die im Endkampf. Natürlich die andere auch, aber die ein bisschen mehr.
The expectations for Phyllis are really high, so I'm definitely expecting her to be in the running for the win. Of course, the number 1 as well, but maybe the 11 a little bit more. So we're hoping for a really, really good run here and definitely seeing her in the finish. Thank you very much, Werner Glanz. Good luck. Viel Erfolg.
Danke sehr.
That was Werner Glanz to his 2 runners, and back to you.
Well, just to slightly extend the conversation on those two Vernaglans runners. Phyllis, second last time out, and the horse that beat Phyllis was Nerio, and beat Phyllis by 8.5 lengths, as I said earlier. But there is a 4.5 kilo turnaround between those two in the weights, so Phyllis should be a lot closer to Nerio. Having said that, Nerio's only raced 4 times, so you would imagine Nerio is still on the upgrade, and probably, despite that weight, give Nerio the tick over Phyllis. The other one, Veneziana. Well, Veneziana was in excellent form this summer, 2 wins and 2 seconds, but maybe just gone up too high in the weights. I think trainer was indicating that he was a little bit concerned both with the weight and with the ground being a little bit softer than ideal. And he was well beaten here last month, and perhaps that's an indication that Veneziana is now too high in the handicap. But no denying the fact that he had a good summer. 2 wins, as I said, and 2 seconds. Let's go back to Eleanor.
Thank you, Patrick. And we're speaking to Christian Sundermann. Christian Sundermann is usually the betting expert here in Munich, always for the German broadcasting. So we'll just want to have a little bit of an insight who he can tell us who his favorites are. I mean, it's a big field, 16 runners. Who are maybe your 1, 2, 3, 4 favorites?
5, 6, 7, 8. Where to start? Okay. Menuet, number 7. I think has got very good chances. He's running with a good form, and he will be respected as a Toto. Nerio, number 2, had a good race last time here in Munich on the same ground. This day he has to wear 3 more kilos. So let's see. He's not the top weight, but number 2 in the weight. Also, we should pay respect to him. And one horse I follow for a long time is number 4, Monte Cristo Gold. And perhaps he's worth his name today, Gold, with a young jockey ridden by an amateur, Jacqueline Lacaille. Keep an eye on him.
Thank you very much, Christian. Back to you, Patrick. Just some insight from our betting experts here in Germany.
Well, following that advice, I'm just having a look now at Monte Cristo Gold. That was one I hadn't put a line through him, but he'd been running okay. But last week, he was a very good second in Cologne, although he was beaten quite a long way. But that was certainly a significant upturn in form, and maybe that's an indication that Monte Cristo Gold might go well, and must be said at a pretty long price. It's probably going to go off around about the 25 to 1 mark, Monte Cristo Gold. But you heard our local betting expert there giving a thumbs up to the chances of this one, so might be an each-way play on that one. So the jockeys all out now, and they will be shortly climbing aboard their respective mounts. 16 of them in all, once again, for this 2,000-metre handicap. There in shot is the 10-horse City Cat. City Cat, 2 places in 15 starts in the last 2 seasons, so probably one to avoid this afternoon. But having said that, all number of things can come up as the ground gets softer and the days get shorter and the season begins to come towards an end. A reminder of that, of course, is the fact that our big race is coming up after this, and that's the final Group 1 race of the European racing calendar this season. So still waiting to see any developments in the market. Haven't been any serious changes as yet, but no doubt those will come. Other horses worth having a look at. Aral, the 8-horse, was a winner at Hanover in September. Disappointing last month at Dortmund, but if Aral can go back to that winning mark that he had in September at Hanover, might have a chance here. Imani, who popped up with a hard-fought win at Baden-Baden last time, might just struggle off this new mark, but it's always nice to have a horse coming here on winning form. And Imani is currently a pretty long price, round about the 20 to 1 mark. Still really being vague about this betting because the market hasn't really taken shape as yet. There's number 13, Mr. Jury Twister, the mount of Leon Wolf. Mr. Jury Twister is consistent, but tends to find 2 or 3 too good in most races and hasn't won for over a year. Number 14, Night Glory, is another one probably who's just coming into shot there. Night Glory is probably another one who's best avoided. He's been out of form all year, except for a second at Dusseldorf last month. Been beaten, well beaten since then, but that second at Dusseldorf shows that on his day, Night Glory is not a forlorn hope. Now jockey's beginning to get on board. Night Glory has just been mounted by Michaela Musialova. Oh, well, we can now catch up with Michael Figger and see what he thinks of his chances.
Us again, speaking now about the runners in the 7th race. We'll start off with the number 9, Imani, ridden by Patrick Gibson. She won her last race in Baden-Baden in September, had a break for 2 months and is now running about 400 meters longer distance than last times. What are your expectations here?
I think she won't have a problem with 2 furlongs more, but because she's very strong and a tall filly, and she also can handle the ground. The only thing is, the only little question mark is the break because of a little knee injury. But in the last work, she was good enough to make a good race today.
Thank you very much. And the second runner is the number 3, Kelani, ridden by Ines Löwe. What are the chances here?
Kelani reduced her rating this year, and now I think she can be in the bet. I think with a little bit luck and the rider in form, she can be placed.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you very, very much.
So, Michael Figger reasonably hopeful of his 2 opportunities in this race, Kalani and the other one that he was talking about. Well, we can go back over to Eleanor because the horses are now leaving the parade ring.
And here they are passing us on their way to the track. And we see the number 1, Veneziana, and Julian Sixt, followed closely by the number 2, Nerio, and Esantur Chuganali Ulu, the number 3, Kelani, and Ines Löwe, and then the number 4, Monte Cristo Gold, and Jacqueline Lacaille. So 2 of those are amateur riders, the number 3, Ines Löwe, and Jacqueline Lacaille, both riding as amateur riders. And the number 2, Isantur Chuganali Ulu, he is the apprentice for Peter Schirgen, and he's one of the best apprentices this year in Germany, riding in really good form. And since he's moved to Germany, he's really quick picked up and has ridden in really great form. And the next couple of horses now making their way to the track, the number 5, We Nossi, and René Picholek, who of course is from Munich and rides here in Munich, has won the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe before, so this is his home track. And the number 6, Nayem Shalgoda, and Tore Hammer Hansen, Jutta Meyer told us that this is her favorite for this race. The number 7, Minuet, and Mikael Kadedou, our betting expert Christian Sundermann, favored her, and then the number 8 Aral and Michael Abik, and the number 9 Imani and Patrick Gibson. Patrick Gibson also from Munich from this track. Followed by the number 10, now making its way, City Cat and Sean Byrne. Followed by the number 11, Phyllis and Michaela Malakova. And we heard from Werner Glanz that he says Phyllis is highly favored for him, and he thinks Phyllis will definitely be in the running for the winner, now making its way towards the track. And then the last couple of horses just making their way over to us with the number 15, We see Aramis Algunay, ridden by Vladimir Panov, now making its way forward. And then we have the number 16, No Stopping Her, ridden by Anna van den Troost for Frank Fuhrmann, and the number 14, Night Glory, another filly, ridden by Mikaela Musialova, now making its way towards the track. Both horses trained by Frank Fuhrmann. And the last horse to complete the field of 16 runners is the number 13, Mr. Jury Twister, ridden by Leon Wolf, who seems to be doing okay, still riding after his fall in the 5th race out of the starting stalls. So he seems all right to still be riding. So that was the number 13, Leon Wolf. And that's all of them now making their way onto the track, galloping towards the starting stalls. So let's have another look at the betting market. Let's hope Leon Wolf stays on his horse. And back to you, Patrick.
Well, it's still a pretty strange betting market to my eyes. Najim Shalgoda, the market leader. There's nothing wrong with that, but the price of 2.6 that's currently showing is, well, not to say ludicrously low. 2.6 Najim Shalgoda. I'm sure it won't stay at that price, but I've been saying that for about the last 10 minutes, and Najim Shalgoda is still around about 2.6. 6.7 then Nerio, and 9.9 number 7 Menuet. And then beyond those three, well, it's 12.2 number 5 We Know C. That's all I haven't mentioned yet. We Know C won a big field handicap at Baden-Baden in August. Just had a couple of runs since then, and both of those were indicative of We Know C being perhaps a little bit too high in the weights currently, as the runners now arrive down at the post. Starting stalls this time pretty much directly in front of the stands, so the crowd here will have a good view of the loading. Just having a look at a few of those we haven't seen. Aral, the 8 horse, white with the green sleeves towards the left of shot. And the only grey in the field is Mr. Jury Twister. And there in the foreground is Nerio, who's the one really who's an unknown quantity. I think if Nerio is improving as quickly as he might appear to be, based on that run at Dortmund last time, at Dortmund, was it? At no, it was at Baden-Baden, Baden-Baden, I think, last time, when he won by 8.5 lengths. Then Nerio might just be a little bit out of the class that he's currently racing in. But we'll wait to see whether that race was a blip or perhaps indicative of a horse who's really on the upgrade. And Eleanor has now made her way from the parade ring down towards the starting stalls.
Yes, Patrick, here we are again at the starting gate, now at the 2,000-meter line. I've just heard that 3 o'clock is the supposed new start time, so we've gone down to 5 minutes past the actual time, past the planned time. And all the horses have arrived here, just getting ready to run in the 7th race of the day. The number 11, Phyllis, Mikaela Malakova just dismounted her horse, retightening the saddle here. So I think she'll be up on her horse in just a second again. I think she just dismounted to tighten the saddle. The rest of them all found their way here. The number 12, Maharani, trained, owned and ridden by Ulrike Timmermann, was just a little bit keen but has settled down now. And all the operators here at the starting stalls are now making their way towards the horses. So I think they're starting to load now. They're just trying with Minuet and Mikhail Kadadu who seems to be making a bit of a trouble, and they're trying to back the horse towards the starting stall. Jutta Meier is at the starting stalls as well, looking after her horses. So she's also here looking after her runners. The number 11, Michaela Malakova, still off of her horse, but she's just waiting at the starting stall, so I think she might have the horse go in without her and then mount again because she's waiting next to the gate. At the moment, still 6 people trying to move Minuet and Mikael Kadedou towards the starting stalls. They're making their way. Seems to be going well so far. I don't want to jinx it, but it seems like they are making their way towards the gate. And yes, here they are, and they're in. There we go. Now the rest of them will have to probably, hopefully, go quickly so that we have them all loaded rather soon. The number 11 now making its way into the starting gates without the rider on her. Phyllis just trying to be moved into the gates. And yes, Michaela Malakova getting on now that the horse is already inside of the gate. And next, horse is Kelani to be moved in, and we can see that the helpers here at the starting gates are taking the helping heavy blanket to move horses inside of the gates. Next horses to be moved forward, the 13 now making its way towards the gate, Mr. Jury Twister and Leon Wolf. He's smiling again, so everything's forgotten from the fall of before. The number 10 also wearing a hood already, now making its way towards the starting stall, City Cat and Sean Byrne. And the number 9 was already inside, has been taken out again. Coming forward again, and there the 9 is inside as well. So there's only a couple more horses. The number 6 is in, and 9 more horses outside. So Patrick, let's have another look at the betting market and how everything's shaping up.
Well, Najim Shalgoda is still the favourite, is on the drift now, down to out to 3.5. The money's come for Nerio at 4.6, also for Menaway at 7.3, and also Phyllis at 8.9. So those are the front 4 in the market as we get down to the last 4 or 5 to load in. Aral is now coming forward towards the outside, going into stall 16. That was Monte Cristo Gold just going in. Now the green jacket of We Know C is one of the last 3 or 4 to come forward. Also Night Glory still to go in. Phyllis has just taken position. Now the red colours of Maharani goes in, or is waiting to go in, together with Nerio. So we're pretty much set, not quite. Huino C is going to be the last of them. The last of the 16 to load in. Huino C has taken position, all set, under orders, and away they go. 2,000 metres is the distance, and a couple of very slow starts indeed. Phyllis was one of those, and also at the back of the field, Monte Cristo Gold. Those two really have fluffed the start as the early pace is taken on by City Cat, who goes to the lead. Moving up on the outside is Arami Algune, and that one now comes through, picks it up from City Cat. These two followed by Mr. Jury Twister, the grey in third. Then Aral on the outside, and Najim Shalgoda's got a lovely pitch on the inner racing fifth. Just behind that one, Maharani in 6th. Then Menaway towards the inside in 7th. Up on the outside, Monte Cristo Gold has made a couple of positions now after that very slow start. But anchored at the back of the field still is Phyllis as they make their way down the far side. And it's Arami Algune showing by a length and a half over City Cat in 2nd. Following those is Mr. Jury Twister in third, Aral towards the outside fourth, Najim Shalgoda on the inner in fifth, followed by Maharani, then Menoe towards the inside. Nerio has now got a decent pitch on the outer. Nerio's being followed by Imani on the outside. Racing next to that one is No Stopping Her. Then more towards the inner is Kalani as they come towards the end of the back straight and begin the turn back towards home. Still out in front, it's Arami Algune and Vladimir Panov, being followed by Mr. Jury Twister, Leon Wolf in second. Just being pushed along now on the outside is Aral, City Cat towards the inside. As they come past the 500, and Mr. Jury Twister has now come through and picked up the lead, and it's Mr. Jury Twister who's quickened on and got plenty of the others in trouble. Mr. Jury Twister pulls away from Arami Algune, then Aral towards the outside. Najim Shalgoda is running on strongly on the inside. Now Phyllis is really picking up the yellow jacket together with Maharani. It's Mr. Jury Twister. Phyllis is eating up the ground. Nerio on the outside, still battling away Arami Algune. Arami Algune is coming with Nerio, but holding on is Mr. Jury Twister, just about, with Arami Algune, who got a second win, picked up into second. Nerio came flying down the outside all too late in third, and it'll probably go to a photo fourth. So Mr. Jury Twister and Leon Wolf has pretty certainly held off the late charge of Arami Algune. Then you watch Nerio coming down the outside. Phyllis made a lot of ground in the early stages. Maharani and Aral were the other two in that leading group who pulled well clear of the others. But it's the grey Mr. Jury Twister who has held on to land the seventh race of the afternoon from Arami Algune, who was an early leader and was then passed, but then got a second win and picked up once again and came back at the eventual winner. Nerio came down the outside, but never quite got on terms with those front two. As you can see, the field fanning out right across the track. Mr. Jury Twister tried to go pretty early, went to the front about 400 metres out. Just thought he might be there to shot at and might be vulnerable, but nothing really came out of the pack with the possible exception of Nerio. And then suddenly Arami Algune got going again. Aral came with a run towards the outside, that petered out. And also Phyllis improved strongly, the yellow jacket, red cap, who maybe just got a place there. But number 13, Mr. Jury Twister for Jutta Meyer, and Leon Wolf is our winner.
And we are on the track, just waiting for a quick interview with Leon Wolf. We just talked about him right before the race. And so the fall in our first race, in the fifth race, didn't hurt him at all. And here he goes to a win for Jutta Meyer. Jutta Meyer said that Mr. Jury Twister can also run into money places, and that was a really exciting finish, tight finish there in the end, but Leon Wolf and Mr. Jury Twister held on. So let's see how it felt from the saddle for him, because when we were standing at the finishing line, it was really, really close in the end, but well done for the team. Jutta Meyer with the many horses that she sent into this race. But a good win here for a Munich-based trainer at this track here. Leon Wolf, congratulations, well done. Good win, really exciting in the end. It was really close for us watching from the ground. How did it feel from the saddle?
Yeah, it felt really great. I have a perfect race. The horse really liked the ground today, so I think that's how we win today.
Is there even more great form to come in the future? What do you think would be good for this horse in the future?
Yeah, I think he's a winter horse. You see also in the forms, yeah, he always wins in the winter. He likes the soft ground, so that's what he's for.
Congratulations, well done, Leon Wolf and Mr. Jury Twister. Well done in this race. As we heard, he's a winter horse. He likes the soft ground and the fall, foggy weather. Congratulations to the team. Let's have another look at this win with Mr. Jury Twister.
Well, a chance to go right back to the start, and the first thing to notice is that Phyllis was one of the two horses who really missed the kick there, and considering that Phyllis came home in fourth position, that's a run that certainly shouldn't be ignored for future reference. Well, as they settle down, you can see Mr. Jury Twister was always in front rank, managed to get a nice pitch there in third position, just in front of Najim Shalgoda, who was on the inside. But the early leader was Arami Algune, and it's Arami Algune who took them onto the far side with City Cat and Sean Byrne following in second. Mr. Jury Twister just nicely positioned third with Aral on the outer, Najim Shalgoda on the inner. Menue and Nerio, two other fancied horses, also had nice pictures. We're both racing about 6th or 7th, with Maharani racing with those two. But a feature of this was that the long-time leader Arami Algune, who was passed at about 400 or 500 metres out, managed to battle back towards the end of the race. As they go towards the home turn, you can see it's still Arami Algune and Vladimir Panov, but Mr. Jury Twister is covering every mood, just moves up on the outer of City Cat to join for second position as they begin the turn back in. Najim Shalgoda begins a promising forward move towards the inside, the orange jacket, just moving into third there. Quite a few of the others at the back of the field really beginning to tread water at this stage as they made the turn in. But Mr. Jury Twister really committed early. Leon Wolf knew he was on a horse that would stay every metre and was relishing the ground. And all credit to Arami Algune, managed to try and stick with that one, but just seemed to be losing that battle. Can see now that Phyllis and Nerio, particularly Phyllis, who's come from a long way back, really making up a lot of ground. Here I thought Arami Algune had no chance of being placed. I thought 4 or 5 would sweep past, but lo and behold, Arami Algune picked up again and really ran the winner close. Nerio, a solid run on the outside for third, and Phyllis perhaps the one to take out of the race in fourth, bearing in mind that she lost a good 10 lengths at the start and has come home only 2 or 3 lengths behind the winner. But Mr. Jury Twister has gutsed it out, as Leon Wolf was saying, really appreciating this soft ground, appreciating these late autumn, winter conditions. And this is Mr. Jury Twister's time of the year, and has managed to record his first victory for quite a while, beating Arami Algune, Nerio and Phyllis. And there you can see the winning distances, winning by just about a head in the end, with Nerio not far behind, maybe just over a neck behind in third. Well, shortly we'll be beginning the build-up to our feature race of the afternoon, the Große Allianz Preis von Bayern, Group 1 race over 2,400 metres. But before we do that, I'm sure we'll go back to the parade ring for the victor's ceremony for the 7th of the afternoon. And there we are. And Helena is in the parade ring, I believe.
Thank you, Patrick. We're speaking to Andrea Meyer, daughter of Jutta Meyer, who just had an amazing win with Mr. Jury Twister. It was really close, but Leon Wolf did a great job, really moving Mr. Jury Twister over the finish line. Great win.
Yes, thank you very much. So we didn't really expected the win, because he lost a little bit on his form, but we knew he absolutely loves the ground. Nerio, he finished as well very strong on the 3rd place with the up weight and as a 3-year-old, but we're very happy with the results of the 2 horses.
Very well done. Leon Wolf also said Mr. Jury Twister is a winter horse. He likes this ground, he likes the weather. Will he stay in training for next year?
Yes, so for sure he stays in training because we are like a small handicap stable yard. So we will definitely keep him and we'll keep him fit again for the next autumn.
Are you running throughout the winter in Dortmund and on turf, not turf, but dirt races?
Yes, so we will probably start to run a little bit in France on the dirt track. And we might have 1 or 2 runners in Dortmund, but latest to the Christmas time we want to take a break and take it a little bit easy.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Celebrating your win now, over to the winning enclosure. Thank you here to the Maya family, who are now making their way over to the winning podium for the winning ceremony in this 7th race. Vetsta.de joins World Pool Handicap, this class for handicap over 2,000 meters. And as we heard from Ms. Meyer, they are keeping the horse in training. They are a handicap yard, so they're looking for a campaign throughout the winter and into next year. So here they are celebrating this win with Mr. Jury Twister, 5-year-old gelding by Isfahan, trained by Jutta Meyer here in Munich, ridden by Leon Wolf and owned by the Allée Le Bleu stable here in Munich. Trophies are now being handed over by the officials from the Munich racetrack, handing out trophies to everyone involved. Of course, we know the trainer, the owner, and the jockey are all getting their trophies, and they also get a really big framed picture for the owner to take home already from the winning team. And Leon Wolf now wearing the World Pool hat. Congratulations to the team surrounding Mr. Jury Twister. And now we're all set to go into the 8th race, the highlight of the day, the Group 1 here in Munich, the last Group 1 in Europe of the season. Group 1, Großer Allianz Prize of Bavaria, Group 1 over 2,400 meters. Let's have a look at the field of 9. We have one non-runner with the number 1. Aleno and René Picholek have just been scratched half an hour ago, so Aleno will be a non-runner. We'll go into the number 2, Ami de Vega and Oliver Wilson, with the number 3, Cold Heart, written by Leon Wolf, who just won this race, with the number 4, Junko and Maxime Gouillon, the number 5, Rashford and Jack Mitchell, with the number 6, we will see Tiffany, written by Luc Morris, with the number 7, Bay City Roller and Adrie de Vries, the number 8, Convergent and William Buick, and with the number 9, Lazio and Martin Seidel. The last Group 1 race of the season today here in Munich, and you're sending into this race the number 3, Cold Heart, also written by Leon Wolf today. Looking at his second to last form, he came in 3rd in a Group 1 race in Berlin over the same distance behind Juncker, who's running again today. Will we see him in that form, and can we scratch his last race in Baden-Baden?
Yes, I definitely think we can scratch the last from Baden-Baden. It was not what we were expecting from him. And he is in great form at home, and we think he can bounce back to his form from Berlin.
So there are a couple of international contenders that are very strong. For example, Junko again. How do you feel in comparison to the international runners?
Yes, obviously it's a very strong international field. He did run against Junko in Berlin. He was just a length behind him. So I think he should be, somewhere there again. I mean, Convergent is a very good horse, Tiffany, so it's definitely a tough field, but I think if he can show what he shows us in training, he should run a good race.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, as Vincent Schiagen was saying there, important to forgive Cold Heart his last run, which was a bit of a stinker, but even if you forgive him that, he's got some tough opposition this afternoon in the form of the foreign horses. Convergent, the obvious market choice for Carl Burke and William Buick. Tiffany for Sir Mark Prescott and Luke Morris, and also Bay City Roller for George Scott and Adrie de Vries. Not to mention the little matter of Junko, who won this race a couple of years ago for André Fabre and Maxime Guillon. So 4 very, very strong runners from abroad have come to try and take this prize back to their respective countries, and that's not to mention also Ami de Vega, trained in Norway by Jan-Erik Neuroth, which leaves just, unfortunately, just 3 German runners, Rashford, Lazio and Cold Heart. Bad news that Eleno, who I thought might just have a squeak here, has been withdrawn late in the day, so that leaves Lazio really as the big hope for keeping this prize in its home country. So those are the 8 runners. As far as the betting's concerned, well, it's been a little bit shaken up by Eleno being withdrawn. But as expected, Convergent is the market leader, currently trading at around about even money. Convergent. It's then 4.1 number 4 Junko, 6.2 number 6 Tiffany, 10.1 number 7 Bay City Roller, 13.2 number 9 Lazio, 15.4 number 3 Cold Heart, 26 number 2 Ami Vega, and 28 number 5 Rashford. So that's how the market's developing. I wouldn't think it would change enormously. I can imagine Tiffany coming in a bit and Junko going out a bit, but can certainly see Convergent going off at roughly the price he currently is. Well, I suppose the big rivalry here, in a sense, is for Convergent and Tiffany, and to a lesser degree Bay City Roller, to land their first ever Group 1 prizes. There's only one horse in the field who's won a Group 1 race before, and that's Junko, who landed this race 2 years ago when beating Assistent and India. Assistent, who then went on to win it last year. Junko's a regular performer in these big races. It was a Group 2 winner last season. It's had some very hard tasks this year. If you're going to perform in these Group 1s, then you've got to race against the likes of Rebels Romance, who beat Junko, Calandagan, who beat Junko. But disappointing last time, I think, Junko went only 5th in a Group 2 race, but that was behind Convergent, who did look in that event rather like a Group 1 winner in waiting, and this has got to be Convergent's big chance. Junko was beaten 3 lengths behind Convergent in that Prix du Conseil de Paris, and there's no obvious reason why Junko should be able to turn that form round. As far as Convergent's concerned, well, he's a winner of 4 from 6 outings. He's a short head behind Hochkönig in the German Derby in Hamburg back in July, then went on to win a Group 3 race in Ireland, and last time out that Group 2 victory in France, the Prix du Conseil de Paris, and beating in that race Dubai Honor and Yellow Jersey. And I'd say on the face of it, Dubai Honor and Yellow Jersey might have been second and third favourites in this race. But let's go back quickly to the parade ring and join Eleanor.
Thank you. And we're with Jan-Erik Neuroth today, sending the number 2 into this race. Ami de Vega, ridden by Oliver Wilson. He's run well before in Germany, coming in second in a Group 3. Today you're meeting slightly tougher competition, though. What are your expectations and what are you hoping for in this race?
Well, I expect him to run like he usually does. He's never done a bad run over 2,400 meters. He seems okay. He might be short of a run. Had a long break. And it was hard to find a race on grass with a soft ground nowadays, so I decided to just go for it and see how he stands against these types of horses.
So you are one of several really tough contenders from abroad, meeting the German runners here today. Who do you think is the toughest competition in this race?
Well, the English 3-year-olds are of course strong, but Junko is a good horse, and Arleno is no scratch. So, but there, of course, all of them are high-class horses, and well, yeah, I guess that's what you can expect when you're having a Group 1 run. So,
Thank you very much. Good luck for your run today.
thank you very much.
Good luck. So, Patrick, there we had him, Jan-Erik Neuroth, and I'll be looking for the next interview partner. But until then, back to you.
So, Jan-Erik Neuroth, realistic about the opposition facing Ami de Vega this afternoon, but all credit to him for giving it a go and bringing his horse from Norway down to Munich. And let's hope he runs well. Now, as I was saying about Convergent, that last run at the Prix du Conseil de Paris, Dubai Honor and Yellow Jersey were in that field, and Convergent had to fight very, very hard to beat them off. But Dubai Honor is such a consistent horse at that kind of level that gives a real feel of strength behind the form, and that Convergent, who's proven on today's ground, who's proven on over today's trip, and proven indeed in this country when running second in the German Derby, and Convergent is certainly going to go off as favourite. Now, one of the home representatives is Rashford, trained by Marian Falk-Weissmeyer, who's in conversation with Elena.
Marian Falk-Weissmeyer bringing the number 5, Rashford, one of the German-trained horses, ridden today by Jack Mitchell. He won a Group 3 last time out in Baden-Baden. Today, competition at Group 1 level is a little tougher, but how has he improved since his last win, and how are you feeling about today's race?
Yes, he won nicely last time. He feels well after the race. He's fresh at home, so that's the reason why we tried at Munich at the Group 1. We know that the race is the most difficult race for him. But we have nothing to lose, and so we tried. The positive thing is he liked the ground, so we hope some other contenders don't do this, and then we have a small chance.
Fingers crossed for the German representatives. Good luck.
Thank you.
And now we're going into the jockey parade, having a look at all the jockeys coming into the race today. And here they are. We're just waiting for 1 second for them to make their way into the parade ring. So we can see they're already standing there, awaiting their turn to move into the parade ring. But we're not quite ready to see them. Of course, we have incredible international representation of some of the best European and world-class jockeys. And here we can start with the first one for the number 2, Ami de Vega, Oliver Wilson. And the number 3, another German contender today, hoping to keep the win here, Leon Wolf. With the number 4, Junko, one of the incredible international contenders, Maxime Gouillon. And the number 5, we just spoke to Marian Falk-Weissmeyer, Rashford, will be ridden by Jack Mitchell. And another world-class jockey for the number 6, Tiffany, trained by Sir Mark Prescott, ridden by Luke Morris. And another star that we can see coming here, one of the best German jockeys who rides in Dubai a lot. Today on the number 7, Bay City Roller, Adrie de Vries. And with the number 8, we have Convergent, second this year in the German Derby, ridden today by one of our best jockeys in Europe and the world, William Buick. And the last horse in this field, to complete the field, another German runner, the number 9, Lazio, ridden by Martin Seidel.
So runners continuing to move round the parade ring now. The jockeys have been introduced to the crowd and will shortly be mounting up. Let's have a look at what I think is the main German contender, Lazio. He's a top-rated German 2-year-old last year, 2024. Made a little bit of a slow start to this season, but then ran 3rd in the German Derby, and since then has run 3rd to tornado alert in the Group 1 Große Dallmayr Prize. Was a little bit disappointing, I think, last time when only 4th in the Group 2 in Milan, but certainly has a chance. Let's go quickly back to Eleanor.
And we're in the parade ring with Billy Jackson Stubbs, racing manager today for the number 7 Bay City Roller for George Scott, ridden by Adrie de Vries. He's had a good 3-year-old campaign so far, showing great form at Group 2 level. Now here in Germany again against Convergent. What can we expect to see from Bay City Roller today?
He's come here in the best shape possible. George is pretty excited with how he's been training since his last run. We probably end up in a position behind Convergent last time that we shouldn't have been in. He obviously did beat us that day, and I think in different circumstances we could have been a lot closer to him if not beaten him. And I think we're pretty excited about today, up and trip.
It's great to have you here today in Germany. Great to have such a great runner in a Group 1 race. It's the last race of the season, so the last chance to make a mark here in Europe.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, victorious forever. This is the aim. We want to be in these big races all around Europe, competing at the top level. We've got nice horses like this that can do that, and I hope we can get a good result.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
And Patrick, back to you.
So that was Bay City Roller being talked up. Bay City Roller is certainly no mean performer, 3-time winner as a 2-year-old, including the Group 2 Champagne Stakes at Doncaster, and has been second in 3 Group 2 races already this year, the Prix Dollar, the Prix Niel and the Prix Eugène Adam. But was only 4th last time in that Prix Conseil de Paris, 2.5 lengths behind Convergent. On the bare form of that, you'd think that he'd really struggled to turn that form round, but you heard connections there saying that they thought Bay City Roller didn't get the rub of the green in that race, probably wasn't in the position he needed to be, and can finish much closer to Convergent this afternoon. Well, if that's the case, then Bay City Roller is of interest. Now, William Buick is the jockey on Convergent, taking over from the regular rider Clifford Lee. Let's hear what he's got to say.
William Buick, great to have you here in Munich for the last Group 1 race this season. Today, riding Convergent, the number 8. Convergent, a horse that's very well known in Germany, having run a very close second in the German Derby. Other notable wins this year in the Group 2 in Longchamp, just last time out. This last race will be him going in as one of the favorites, of course, here in this race. How do you think he's feeling, and what are you expecting from your ride here today?
Yeah, he looks a very progressive horse, and you know, he's never run a bad race. He's never been out of the first 3, and you know, he's coming off the back of 2 good wins in Leopardstown and in Longchamp. So. Look, it's a competitive race. You know, Tiffany, she was only narrowly beaten in this race last year, so you have to respect her. Amongst others in the race, obviously John Coe as well. He won this race in 2023. So, yeah, look, it's never easy, but he looks progressive, and you know, I know Carl and his team are very happy with him.
The ground's a little more on the softer side today. Do you think that'll be a factor?
Look, it's what you expect this time of the year. Hopefully, it's not going to be a problem for him.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Well, in the absence of Clifford Lee, who was hurt in a car accident, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, the connections of Convergent and trainer Carl Burke have certainly booked some replacement in the form of William Buick, and Convergent, as he was saying, very progressive indeed. Second in the German Derby, and then that Group 3 win at Leopardstown, and then the Group 2 last time at Longchamp. He seems to be on the up. What you really hope is that if Convergent can win this afternoon, that he'll still stay in training next year and might turn out to be a really, really top-class 4-year-old, as if he isn't top-class already. But it was very interesting to hear connections of Bay City Roller think they can get a lot closer to Convergent this afternoon. Now, one horse we haven't mentioned, but we can't overlook her, is Tiffany. Group 2 winner in Germany, Group 1 placed in the UK last season, and second to Assistent in this race last year. She's only raced once this year, so obviously there have been training problems, but she ran 2.5 lengths second to Sibayan in the Preis von Europa at Cologne. You would imagine that coming on after a very long layoff, that she would be a little bit straighter this afternoon. And if that's the case, then she's going to be a tough nut to crack. You can't really see. She is pretty tough, and you can't really see her running a bad race. And for my money, she's the one to chase home Convergent. But having heard the optimistic noises from the camp of Bay City Roller, certainly wouldn't count him out. And of course, Junko, who won this race 2 years ago, he is trained by a certain André Fabre, so it would be madness to think that Junko can't bounce back after a slightly lackluster run last time out when beaten behind Convergent. But I'm still going to stick with the favourite, and not just me. Convergent is now down to 1.6 favourite, which for my money would be a little bit too short. I certainly don't think he's worthy of that kind of price. That's pretty long odds on, really. 1.6 Convergent, 5.5 number 4 Junko, 7.1 number 6 Tiffany, who I thought would probably go off second favourite. 10.8 number 7 Bay City Roller, and then at 15.2 Lazio, at 18 Cold Heart, and after that betting show, back to Eleanor.
And here we see the horses now going down for the parade for this Group 1 race here in Munich. We're starting off with the number 2 Ami de Vega and Oliver Wilson, now here making their way along our audience down the winning straight, trained in Norway. And we're now going on to the number 3, Cold Heart. We spoke to Vincent Schirgen, who's also leading Cold Heart up here, written by Leon Wolf. He's owned by Fazant Mondesier from Brazil, who brought this horse over to Germany to be trained by Peter Schirgen, wanting to have a big European campaign over the next couple of years. So this horse for Brazilian connections, here the number 3, Cold Heart. And our next contender with the number 4 is Junko, one of the favorites among the international runners, trained by André Fabre, written by Maxime Gouillon. André Fabre not here today, but of course, all fingers crossed from abroad for Junko. And the number 5, Rashford, we spoke to Marianne Falk-Weismeier, another German contender, written by Jack Mitchell. They're hoping to have a good run in this race. Of course, the competition is tough, but they said we have nothing to lose. We'll just go for it. And we have the number 7 Bay City Roller, written by Adrie de Vries, German jockey for international connections here for George Scott. Adrie de Vries had already prepared to go over to Dubai and ride there over the winter, but came back for this ride on Bay City Roller, the number 7 3-year-old colt by New Bay. And with the number 8, the favorite on the betting market, Convergent, 3-year-old colt by Fascinating Rock, written by star jockey William Buick, trained by Carl Richard Berg. And with the number 9, Lazio, another German contender. And now, of course, Lazio started galloping, so Tiffany went right on with them. Lazio, trained by Waldemar Hicks in Cologne, written by Martin Seidel. And of course, Tiffany, one of the world-class fillies, the only filly in this field. 5-year-old filly by Fa, trained by Sir Mark Prescott and written today by Luke Morris. An interesting field, a very competitive field today. Unfortunate that Aleno has been a late non-runner, but we have international competition. We have world-class horses that have made their way to Munich to run in this last Group 1 of the European calendar. So an interesting field to see how the German horses fare against the international competition. Patrick, let's have another look at the runners.
So runners now arriving down at the post, just looking through once again a quite quick last look at the form. I suppose if you're going to pick a hole in Convergence form, it would be that he hasn't won on proper soft ground yet, and while it's not riding very, very soft this afternoon, it definitely is soft, and Convergence's last 2 victories have both come on good to soft ground. So I suppose there's a slight opening for some doubt in there, and If doubt's what you're looking for in a 2-to-1 on shot, well, there it is. Tiffany, no such doubts about that one, proven on softish ground, likewise Junko. 6.5 now Junko, 7.2 Tiffany, and 1.5 number 8 Convergent, with Bay City Roller at 13.1. I would imagine those odds might change around a little bit, but Convergent is really everybody's choice here at the moment. And his record this season is well nigh perfect, not quite, because he did get beaten in the German derby, short ahead second. But since then, a Group 3 and a Group 2, and this the natural progression to try and land the final Group 1 race of the European 2025 season. So the 8-strong field now arriving down at the post. There's Bay City Roller, the red jacket with the stripe cap for Adrien de Vries, who's the just the leader of that little group. In fact, no, Lazio's moved in front of him now. Lazio and Martin Seidel. Junko blue with the white sleeves, the Wertheimer brothers colours. And there is our favourite, Convergent. William Buick riding Convergent for the first time this afternoon. Wish Clifford Lee all the best in his recuperation from that car accident. So here we go. The runners are now behind the stalls and will shortly start to load them in. Post time has almost arrived. Just the 8 runners with the withdrawal of Eleno, but very, very competitive indeed. It was won by a German horse last year in the form of Assistent, and that was a bit of a turn-up, beating a strong foreign contingent that time. Let's see if Lazio can repeat the dose this afternoon. Tiffany, who was only just touched off by Assistent last season, is giving it another go. There in shot is Lazio with Tiffany. Tiffany in the white and black colours of Elite Racing. Mount of Luke Morris, who knows this mare very, very well indeed. So they are loading in now. First one into the stalls was Ami de Vega in stall number 2. Rashford next to that one. Tiffany is already in. Cold Heart's now gone in. Convergent is coming in between those two. So 5 in, 2 out. This is Junko walking forward now, which will leave just Lazio to complete the lineup. Number 9, Lazio, moves forward now. Oh, in fact, no. Bay City Roller is still to be loaded in. So now Bay City Roller and Adrien de Vries going into stall number 1. All 8 set, under orders, and away they go for the Große Allianz Preis von Bayern, 2,400 metres for this Group 1 race. Well, everyone's looking around who's going to make the pace. It's Bay City Roller and Adrien de Vries who's been sent forward and picked up the lead, with Ami de Vega going into second. Up on the outside is Tiffany. Rashford, the yellow jacket towards the inside. Convergent just inclined to be a little bit keen at the moment, but William Buick is managing to find cover for him. Then Junko towards the outside with Lazio, and right on the inner is Cold Heart as they come past the winning post for the first time. So it's the red jacket of Bay City Roller who's leading them into the first turn, with Tiffany and Luke Morris up on the outer. Convergent has now gone just about into third position in front of Rashford. Then round the outer, Ami de Vega. Following Ami de Vega on the outside is Junko. In the centre is Lazio. And now relegated to last position is Cold Heart as the runners make the left-handed swing onto the far side. Now, just all steering a slightly wide course off the rail, and it's still Bay City Roller leading them along. Rashford with the sheepskin noseband on the near side disputes second with Tiffany on the outer. Convergent follows in fourth, now almost being joined by Ami de Vega in that. Then Cold Heart towards the inside, who's made up 2 positions, which means Lazio and Juncker are at the back of a tightly grouped field. There wouldn't be more than about 6 or 7 lengths between first and last as they go past the halfway point. Still Bay City Roller in this bid to make all in the Grosse Allianz Prize, leading by just over a length. Tiffany nicely positioned second. Then on the inside third is Rashford. Convergence continuing to travel well in fourth. Is still just a little bit fresh. Pushed along now, Ami de Vega on the outer. Also Cold Heart just coming under a ride. Lazio's making good progress behind. Junko not so in last position and ridden as they make the turn in. They're turning wide, and as they come down to the 500, Bay City Roller still out in front and stretches on by a couple of lengths. Tiffany in pursuit. Convergent hasn't picked up yet. Rashford on the inside. Lazio's making ground behind, but it's still Bay City Roller and Tiffany who are first and second. Convergent won't be winning today, and Bay City Roller stretches on and goes 3 or 4 lengths clear. Tiffany has no answer. Lazio has no answer. Bay City Roller goes 5, 6, 7 lengths clear. It's Bay City Roller and Adrien de Vries who's routed the opposition. Tiffany second, Rashford third, Lazio fourth, and back behind was Ami de Vega. Bay City Roller has come home well in front and lands a Group 1 prize, having been runner-up in 3 Group 2 races this season. Grabs the big one at the back end. So number 7, Bay City Roller and Adrien de Vries, who's made all here and has pulled away from the opposition. Tiffany had no answers. Convergent, I think, ran a little bit too free and dropped away in the end to be last, but it's Bay City Roller who's come storming through. We heard the assistant trainer was very, very bullish about Bay City Roller, and boy, he had every right to be. Won it by about 7 or 8 lengths in the end from Tiffany in second, who's run her normal solid race, but never looked like getting on terms with Bay City Roller. Once Adrien de Vries pressed the button at the 400 post, Bay City Roller just pulled further and further clear. Excellent run from Rashford on the inside, grabbing very, very nice black type money there. Lazio, who improved well in the closing stages, but Lazio was only good enough to contest third position with Rashford. But what about that winner, Bay City Roller? I think the ground obviously was absolutely ideal, the distance was ideal, and Bay City Roller really has put the opposition to the sword. Shame that Junko never really got involved, also that Convergent definitely ran a bit flat, but no taking away from the winner, because he's beaten Tiffany, who's a good guide by any yardstick, and he's beaten Tiffany by a long, long way. And Lazio, who's no slouch, was some way behind in third, and that is a Group 1 win of about 7, maybe 8 lengths. Rashford third, Lazio fourth, and Bay City Roller has put in a career best performance, and that must be very, very exciting indeed for Connections.
And we are on the track celebrating Big City Roller. We spoke to the racing manager before, who did tell us that last time out when he came in second to Convergent, he should have been closer to Convergent, or should have maybe even beaten him. So today we saw an incredible form of Bay City Roller. He almost ran out of our camera frame, and of course an amazing ride by Adrien de Vries. I just heard from the stable staff accompanying Bay City Roller. They said as soon as he was in the front, we knew he was gonna win. So well done by the whole team here. And of course, we want to have a quick word with Adrien de Vries, who came back to Germany just for this ride. So we're just going to wait for the German TV broadcasting to do their interview and then try and get a word in with Adrien de Vries, who did so well here for trainer George Scott in this final Group 1 of the season. And he did do it, start to finish. Just went on and no one was able to catch up. So well done for the whole team. Let's see if Adrien de Vries was as confident as everyone else that he would win as soon as he was in front. Just telling the German broadcasting a lot. Adrie de Vries, congratulations. Well done. Start to finish. You almost ran out of the frame of the camera. Well done. The team just told me as soon as he was in front, they knew he was going to win. How did you feel in the saddle?
Yeah, the team was very keen for me to get him in front, get him very positive. He's a horse that stays really well. He loves the ground, and the way he kept finding, I knew it took a good horse to catch him.
You already said goodbye to Germany for the season and then came back for this ride. Well done. It was worth it?
It was definitely worth it, yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Well done. Congratulations, Adrie de Vries. Congratulations to the whole team around Bay City Roller. George Scott, victorious forever as the owner. Congratulations.
And here's our chance to review the entire race. As Adrie de Vries was saying, he always wanted to ride positively, and he certainly did that. He got a nice start, went to the front, which is obviously where he wanted to be, and crucially, he wasn't taken on for the lead either. He was allowed to set his own pace. It was nothing extravagant, but it was also solid. And as they came past for the first time, Tiffany was the one who went up on the shoulder of Bay City Roller, but not to try and press for the lead, just to be in close contact. This is a point where I was just a little bit worried about Convergent. Never really settled. Just always seemed to be slightly over-racing. As you can see, their head going round and about. And I think that's certainly one excuse. I just wonder whether maybe the ground was a little bit softer than ideal for Convergent as well. But certainly his performance wasn't worthy of what he's shown earlier this season. But Bay City Roller just getting into a lovely tempo there for Adrie de Vries, just bowling along at the pace that Adrie de Vries has decided is ideal. Tiffany, equally, just perfect on the outside, just following this pace. And she, as we know, is as tough as nails and always gives of her best. Rashford right up there on the inner. Distress signals already rather going out for one or two of them. You saw on the outside, on the inside, Cold Heart, and on the outside, Amida Vega already coming under rides. Lazio was going really strongly at this stage, and I thought Lazio might come through the field and really challenge for the lead. Junko was already being ridden as they turned into the home straight, which is not what you expect from him. But as they turned in, Bay City Roller, this is where Bay City Roller, he kicked and immediately took 2.5 lengths out of the field. Tiffany trying desperately to keep with him, but Bay City Roller was just drawing further and further clear. Gone on by about 4 or 5 lengths now. Lazio had come through the field, but then began to falter slightly in the closing stages. Eventually lost third position to Rashford. But look at Bay City Roller, he's just going further and further away. Not sure what the winning distance was. It must be 8, 9 lengths maybe, with Tiffany a further 4 or 5 in front of Rashford, who is third, and Lazio fourth. So watching once again as Bay City Roller routs the opposition, really. I suppose some critics might say that, well, it's an end of season race, it's on soft ground, but you have to remember that Tiffany is in this, and this is the kind of conditions and the kind of race that Tiffany really loves. She was second in this last season, second again, but last season she got close. This season she did not get close. It's just one moment, about 450 out, when Bay City Roller kicked and Tiffany picked up as well. But then after that, it was all the horse in red, and it was all Bay City Roller. And as we heard before, the race, Connections were very, very confident indeed, and their confidence has been well and truly justified by this performance. Let's hope Bay City Roller stays in training next season. Let's go back to Eleanor. She's got an interview.
And there he is again, Billy Jackson Stubbs. Congratulations. We just spoke to you a couple of minutes ago, and you did tell us that he should have been closer to Convergent last time or should have even beaten him today. There was just no stopping you. Start to finish, well done. Congratulations.
No, it's huge. It's huge. It's huge for Victorious forever, obviously, and huge credit to Sheikh Nasser and the team for wanting to come here and have one more go. You know, it could easily have been an opportunity to maybe pull stumps at the end of the season, but everyone was very keen, and George has just done a remarkable job with this horse. He's a fantastic trainer, so enjoyable team, enjoyable result, and hopefully there'll be more to come from this horse next year as well.
I know you were really confident before the race and you were really keen for him to run here, but did you expect it to be this easy? I mean, start to finish, almost running out of the frame?
No, to be honest with you, the change of tactics going forward, we wanted to get in front of Convergent. Like last time we ended up behind him. Ground probably wasn't in our shape when we went to France. This type of ground he would have just loved. No one could imagine him doing what he's just done there. That was pretty remarkable, especially at the end of a long season like he's had. And so, I mean, it's all kind of looking forward to for next year now. He's got the Group 1 under his belt, and we can just go to all the Group 1s in Europe and keep building on his profile.
You just said it, next year. What can we expect? You're going into break now, or what are you doing?
Well, we'll see. I mean, we could be starting in France beginning next year. You know, he's going to be mile and a quarter, mile and a half. He's a horse that we're looking forward to standing at stud at the end of next year. You know, he's a 2-year-old Group 2 when he was unbeaten as a 2-year-old. He's been very, very unlucky this year running into Darries and who went on to win the Arc and things like that. So we think the world of this horse. He's a very good-looking horse, and I think he's going to be a big addition to the stallion team once we're done with next year.
Well done. It was great to have you here. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that we just heard it from Billy Jackson Stubbs, the racing manager for George Scott. Of course, everyone is over the moon with this win. And even though they were really confident, of course, as he just said, no one could have expected a win this great and this easy for them in the end. So obviously the absolute right tactic to go at it from the front right away and to be ahead of everyone else and then just keeping in the front. So well done for the whole team. And also interesting to see what we will see next year. Definitely a horse to watch in the group races next year. And then at the end of the year, of course, they want to go to stud. And as Billy Jackson said as well, huge victory for Victorious Forever, the owners of Bay City Roller. Great victory for New Bay again, for this 3-year-old colt by New Bay. Just an incredible win all around for the whole team and everyone being overjoyed with this success. So Adrie de Vries has come back as well. He's done with everything, ready for the winning ceremony, ready to get onto the podium. As he said, it was well worth it coming back to Germany for this Group 1 race and for a ride like this. And also Adrie de Vries, just a very experienced jockey, so definitely has the nerves just to go to the front and then just stay on and make it a win like this. And we're just waiting for Billy Jackson Stubbs to finish his interview with the German broadcasting, and then of course we want to see everyone moving to the podium, receiving their trophies in this highlight of today's race day, the highlight of the year here in Munich, one of 2 Group 1 races that they have here. So a great race to have at this beautiful track. Last race of the season here in Germany and in Europe. And we can see everyone moving over to the podium now, moving over to the winning ceremony, making their way onto the podium. All of the people from George Scott are here, the grooms, and of course the racing manager, Billy Jackson, who's here, and all the rest of the team, Adrie de Vries, and all the representatives from the Munich race course, Mr. Motschmann, who's the president of the race course here in Munich, giving out the trophies now for this Group 1 race. Adrie de Vries already ready for everyone else. Everyone moving onto the podium now for the owners, Victorious Forever from England, trained in Newmarket by George Scott. Everyone just overjoyed with the jockey and the performance of the horse. Prizes now being handed out by representatives from Allianz, the bank that sponsors this race and has been sponsoring this race for years, a great partner to the Munich racetrack, the Allianz Bank, sponsoring this Grand Prix of Bavaria. And now all the trophies being handed over to the trainer, to the owners, and of course to the jockey. And as is custom in group races, there's also a trophy for the breeder. As you can hear, the German audience overjoyed with this win as well. A big applause all around. And also the winning picture being handed over for the owners, framed already, being given by Mr. Sascha Multerer, CEO of the racetrack, so the host of this race day. And of course, in honor of the winning team, we're now hearing the British national anthem. Win for everyone, and we're already going into the next race, the last race of the day, the number 9 Gemeinsam Stark, Preis der Partnerschaft zwischen Allianz und MRV, a Class 3 handicap over 2,200 meters, with the number 1 Lightning Jock and Matthew Johnson, the number 2 Caviar and Tore Hammer-Hansen, the number 3 Northern Eclipse and Eson Tour Chuganali Ulu, with the number 4 Earl of Lips and Mikhail Kadadu, the number 5 Václav and René Picholek, with the number 6 Oriental King and Michaela Malakova, the number 7 Sarah Lina and Anna van den Troost, the number 8 Sky Emperor and David Liska, with the number 9 Bandida Estrelita and Bayer Saikan Ganbart, with the number 10 Norea Secondo and Ines Löwe, the number 11 Ellie McMagic and Alexander Peach, the number 12 will be Duchess of Lips and Leon Wolf, the number 13 Coffee Volcano and Vladimir Panov, and both the 14 and 15 are non-runners.
So, as Eleanor said, with the 2 bottom ones being taken out, 14 and 15, we have 13 runners for this concluding 2,200 metre Grade 3 handicap. And the current market leader is number 5, Václav, for René Picholek. Václav comes into this race in decent form, was 3rd last time out in a similar handicap at Baden-Baden. Before that was 4th at Dusseldorf, also in a Grade 3 handicap. Before that, 4th once again at Baden-Baden. Consistent performer, but consistently finds a couple too good. But maybe today's the day for Václav to finally get off the mark after quite a long absence from the winner's enclosure. Gone down to now 2.8 in the market, Václav. Now, the next best at 7.3 currently is number 2, Caviar. Caviar was narrowly beaten by Norea Secondo, who reopposes today. Caviar was giving 7.5 kilos to Norea Secondo in that one, and is given much the same this afternoon. Let's go over to Eleanor, where she's talking to Werner Glanz.
Werner Glanz is with us. He's training the number 2 Caviar, 4-year-old gelding by Arayon, ridden today by the champion jockey Tore Hammer-Hansen, trained here in Munich. What are we expecting in this final race of the season? Der Champion reitet ja heute im letzten Rennen des Jahres. Wie sieht's aus für Caviar?
Ja, das letzte Mal war er Zweiter bei ähnlichem Boden und er läuft das erste Mal auf 2.200 Meter. Das ist ein Versuch. Wir trainieren hier in München, haben nicht weit und das haben wir heute halt probiert. sieht noch gut aus. Also ich hoffe, dass wir eine Chance haben.
Last time he was second on the same ground. It's his first time to go over 2,200 meters, so it's just something that we're trying because we are here in Munich anyway, so it's just a try. Are we expecting a place or maybe even a win? Können wir trotzdem einen Platz oder sogar einen Sieg erwarten?
Das wäre schön. Also ich hoffe, dass wir unter den ersten 3 auftauchen. Und wir haben einen Champion an Bord.
We're having the champion in the saddle, so we're hoping for a place. Good luck, Werner Glanz, Tora Hammer-Hansen. So they are hoping for a good run with the champion jockey, bringing Caviar all the way to the finish line. Back to you, Patrick.
So, yes, as you heard there, Caviar is being changed in trip, going up to 2,200 from a standard 2,000, which has been his trip of choice over his last few outings. Before that, second behind Norea Secundo, ran a good 4th at Baden-Baden and a 3rd here on soft ground. So an indication that if he stays today's 2,200, Caviar shouldn't be far off the leaders. Now, next in the betting behind Caviar at 9.1 is the 11 horse, Ali McMagic. Ali McMagic comes here on the back of a victory at Hanover in a Grade 3 race on soft ground last time out, beating quite a few of today's rivals. Coffee Volcano, Bandido Estrelita and Sky Emperor were all behind and all beaten by some margin. Before that, Ali McMagic had run 3rd at Hoppergarten, and the form of that seems to be working out pretty well. So let's join Eleanor again. I think she's talking to Pavel Vovchenko.
I am indeed, Patrick. Pavel Vovchenko is with us, training the number 11, Ali McMagic, written today by Alexander Pietsch. Today here in Munich, last race day in Munich of the season. What can we expect today? Wie sieht's heute aus für Ali McMagic?
Ich glaube, der Boden, das ist schon eine Herausforderung im letzten Rennen. Aber wir haben ein Pferd, das schon mal gut gemacht hat auf einem ähnlichen Boden und einen Jockey, der die Stute gut kennt. Und ich denke, dass wir auch ein bisschen Chance haben müssen.
The ground is, of course, a difficulty this late also in the race day, but she has run over this ground well before, so we are hoping for some good chances. The jockey knows her really well, so we are hoping to have a chance to at least be placed, zumindest mal platziert, oder?
So denke ich, ja.
Placed, we'll definitely expecting. Thank you very much. Viel Glück.
Thank you.
Thank you, and Pavel Vovchenko, and back to you, Patrick.
Well, I think he's rather underestimating his chances there. Ali McMagic safely saw off 3 of today's rivals pretty comfortably last time out on almost the same ground, soft ground. So you'd think Ali McMagic, who's still not overburdened, carrying just 55 kilos with Alex Pietsch in the saddle, should have at least a good each-way chance. Now, another one around about that price of 8.5 is the 12 horse Duchess of Lips. Duchess of Lips comes into this like quite a few of the others in decent form, ran 2nd behind Frankie's Dream last time out on soft ground at Dusseldorf over 2,100 metres. And that was a welcome step up after a couple of fairly lacklustre runs. But before that had won at Hamburg in July. So a Duchess of Lips on his day or on her day, is certainly good enough to win this race, but she's just a touch of an in-and-out performer, so perhaps not one to trust, but on a going day would certainly be perfectly capable, particularly of today's weight of 55 kilos. So jockeys just about moving into the parade ring route now. Well, we've covered the first 3 or 4. And we can go back to the parade ring where Vincent Schergen is talking to Eleanor.
Vincent Schergen for one last interview here in Munich today. You're sending the number 3 into this race, Northern Eclipse, written by Isantur Tuganali Ulu. Very promising win her last time out in a similar race. And how will we see her today? You have your really good apprentice on her.
Yes, we have with Isantur Tuganali Ulu, our apprentice in the saddle, and yeah, he's riding in great form. Northern Eclipse is feeling well at home. She won her last race. Obviously, she needs to carry a bit more weight now in the handicap. But yeah, she seems to be in good form, and I think she should also handle the soft ground. So we hope that she can repeat her race from last time.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, on the face of it, there doesn't seem any reason why Northern Eclipse shouldn't run another good race. As Vincent Schiergen was saying, obviously a little bit more weight to carry this afternoon, but that was on soft ground, and it was over today's 2,200 metres. And a few of today's rivals, Sky Emperor and Norea Secundo, were well beaten behind. So every chance that Northern Eclipse will make a decent showing this afternoon in what is a pretty competitive handicap. As the more you look at it, the more you realise how many horses are coming here in pretty decent form, having one last tilt at some prize money before the turf season comes to a close. So runners pretty much all jocked up now by the looks of things. Just walking through shop there is Coffee Volcano. We can talk now to Michael Figge, the trainer of Norea Secondo.
Michael Figge for the last race of today, the 9th race, and you're sending the number 10 into this race, Norea Secondo, ridden by Ines Löwe today. He likes soft to heavy ground and won here at his home track 2 weeks ago. Are you making it back-to-back wins today? So is there another win?
That can be possible because he loves the track, he loves the ground, the soft ground. He made a top win last time with Ines Löwe, and he became 4 kilos, but on this heavy ground in the last race he can make maybe another victory if we are lucky enough.
Thank you very much. Fingers crossed. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
We have Lightning Jock and Matthew Johnson with the number 1, the first horse in this race, followed closely by the number 2, Caviar, ridden by Tore Hammer Hansen. We heard from Werner Glanz. The champion is in the saddle with the number 3, Northern Eclipse, and Esontur Tuganali Ulu, one of the best apprentices this year, and with the number 4, Earl of Lips and Mikael Kadedu, now making their way towards the track. And the next ones are following suit with the number 5, Václav, and René Picholek. Our local rider, René Picholek, knows, of course, the Munich track because his partner, Sarah Steinberg, trains here in Munich. So this is his home track, now making his way towards the track with Václav, 4-year-old colt by Zarak. And following now is Saralina with the number 7, trained by Jasmin Almenreder, ridden by Anna van den Troost, trained for Marc and Gabi Rühl, who bred the German Derby winner this year. Followed by the number 8, Sky Emperor, ridden by David Liska, and the number 9, Bandida Estrellita, and by Azaikan Ganbart. Followed now by the number 6, Oriental King, ridden by Mikaela Malakova, trained by Oliver Schnakenberg in northern Germany, in Bremen, now making their way towards the track for this final race of the day and of the season. Coming to us now is the number 10, Norea Secondo, ridden by Ines Löwe, trained by Michael Figge, of course, also here in Munich. And the number 11, Ellie McMagic and Alexander Peach. The number 12, Duchess of Lips, ridden by Leon Wolf. And with the number 13, Coffee Volcano and Vladimir Panov. And that's it for the field in this last race, the 14 and the 15 non-runners.
So thank you, Eleanor, for going through the field. You can see there now, or the first of them now making their way down to the starting stalls. There is our favourite, Václav, who's just easing slightly, as is only right, because Václav was much too short a price earlier. It's down to out to 3.4. There's Sky Emperor just going down. Sky Emperor being followed down in the blue colours by Bandido Estrelita, the mount of Bayazakan Ganbat. Sky Emperor ridden by David Liska. Now the 5 there in shot, we have the top weight Lightning Jock. Yellow Jacket just behind of Caviar. Then the orange of Earl of Lips. The cross belts, purple and with white cross belts, that's Václav. As the field now beginning to group up behind the starting stalls. We're already past post time, so I'm sure they'll be keen to get them organised and loaded as quickly as possible. You can just see the starter just getting them to slow down and not overshoot the starting stalls. Last one to arrive down at the start is Coffee Volcano. So let's see how the betting's shaping up. Václav is now out to 3.6. It's then 6.6 number 2 Caviar. At 8.3 number 11 Ali McMagic. And at 8.5 number 3 Northern Eclipse. And then behind those two, 11.4 number 7 Saralina. And 10.1 number 13 Coffee Volcano. Just a reminder that 14 and 15 don't go, which leaves us with a field of 13 for this concluding handicap on our final race day of the season. And certainly it's a day that will live in the memory for that performance of Bay City Roller, which really was, it's not often you see a Group 1 race won by about 7 or 8 lengths, and that was one, and Bay City Rollers really must have given Connections a feeling of great elation. They can go now at big Group 1 races next season, and Bay City Roller really is one to watch next season, certainly over 2,400 metres on soft ground. But let's concentrate now on this handicap. There in shot is Northern Eclipse, the purple jacket, green sleeves. Cross belts of Václav and René Picheluk. As the runners now being organised for stalls entry. Looks like Sky Emperor is the first to be led forward. Blue colours there of Ali McMagic for Alex Peach. And the yellow jacket of Caviar, Tore Hammer Hansen. Champion jockey in waiting. So I'm quite sure if any of them have been loaded in yet. Yep, first one is now going in, and that one is Duchess of Lips, who's going into stall number 2. Yellow jacket coming forward, that was Caviar going in. In fact, that wasn't Caviar, that was Coffee Volcano. Caviar is going in now into stall 7. Here's Earl of Lips for Mickey Caradu. Takes position. Following Earl of Lips in is Northern Eclipse. So 7 of the 13 runners are now loaded. Here goes Saralina. It's going to be followed in by Bandida Estrelita. Next forward will be Oriental King. Oriental King is in. Here goes Norea Secondo for Ines Lerva. He's in. So the last one coming forward is the favourite Václav, who's now drifted out to 4.8 just before the off. Václav is in, all set, under orders. And they're off and racing. 2,200 metres is the distance for this concluding handicap, spread right across the track. Early running is being made by any number of them, but it's just about Sky Emperor who's emerged in the lead, with Duchess of Lips towards the inside. Coming up strongly on the outside is Oriental King, and Oriental King now goes through and picks it up from Sky Emperor in second. Round the outside races, Bandida Estrelita going into third, just in front of Saralina fourth, then on the inside, Duchess of Lips. Chasing these, Norea Secondo in sixth, pursued by Northern Eclipse. Then on the outside is the favourite, Václav, purple and white jacket, who's being followed by top weight Lightning Jock on the inside of those two. The dark blue of Ali McMagic, and then behind Ali McMagic at the back of the field is Coffee Volcano, also Caviar well towards the rear as they race down the far side. So Oriental King on the inner has the lead. Two or three of them going quite deep on the track, and now moving up on the outer, Norea Secondo has come through, and Norea Secondo has now gone to the front. Sky Emperor responds, goes back into second, just in front of Oriental King in third. Then Bandida Estrelita round the outside, who's being followed by Duchess of Lips. Between horses, Saralina still got a fairly prominent position. Back behind those is Northern Eclipse, and then on the inside is Ali McMagic as they begin to turn back towards the straight. So as they turn in, Norea Secondo, who's now gone on by about 3 or 4 lengths to Sky Emperor in second, as they make the swing in. Certainly got a few of them at work further behind as they go into the straight and come down towards the 500. Norea Secondo has opened up by about 5 lengths now to Sky Emperor. Then on the inside is Northern Eclipse beginning to make ground. Down the outer, Caviar's picking up. Also, Saralina's trying to get involved. Norea Secondo is just beginning to struggle now as Northern Eclipse comes through to challenge for the lead. Down the centre of the track, Caviar is also picking up, but it's Northern Eclipse who now goes on and opens up by 1.5 lengths. Suddenly flying down the outside is Václav. Northern Eclipse, Václav chases in company with Earl of Lips, but it's all in vain because Northern Eclipse has won it to Václav second. Third goes to Earl of Lips, and I think just holding on for fourth was Norea Secondo, but it's Northern Eclipse who's won this pretty comfortably in the end. And what looked like a very, very competitive handicap indeed has gone fairly easily to Northern Eclipse. So that's a double on the day for trainer Peter Schierken and his very promising apprentice Esentur Tugan Ali Ulu. Northern Eclipse winning by a good 4 or 5 lengths, I'd say, in the end. Václav did make good progress late in the day, but it was all too late because Northern Eclipse, to be honest, once Northern Eclipse went past Norea Secondo, never ever looked like getting beaten, and has come away to win this by a good maybe 4 or 5 lengths. Northern Eclipse from Václav in second. Third goes to Earl of Lips, and fourth position to Norea Secondo. Watching once again as Northern Eclipse is just sent between horses to challenge for the lead. And once he picks it up, there was never really any danger at all. 1 or 2 of them began to run on down the centre, but Northern Eclipse was certainly not stopping. The challenge was timed just right, and Northern Eclipse has deservedly won this very easily indeed. So 2 winners for Peter Schierken, albeit not the ones he wanted. Valiant effort from Norea Secondo, and an enterprising ride there from Ines Lerver, trying to snatch it from the front. But you could tell 400 metres out that it wasn't going to happen. So let's go back and see if Eleanor can catch up with Winning Connections.
Absolutely. Thank you, Patrick. I will do that. We heard from Vincent Schirgen before that, of course, they have their apprentice jockey in the saddle here to take some weight off. And well done here from Northern Eclipse and Esontur Tuganali Ulu. Now the horse being led by Lauritz Schirgen. The three Schirgen children are all working with the father in racing. Laurens Schirgen, usually a golfer, but today he's here to also lead up the horse. And just a quick word, congratulations. Wie ist es mit Englisch? Congratulations. We'll do English and German. Congratulations. Great win. Well done in the end. No problem with the ground at all. Boden war gar kein Problem. Sehr gut gemacht am Ende.
Ja, Rennen war super. Alles gut. Alles schön.
Well done. He said the race was great. It was exactly how he wanted it to be. They're all really happy with how it went. Esontur Tuganali Ulu, definitely an apprentice to watch. Congratulations to the whole team here for Northern Eclipse, Peter Schirgen and owner Kurt Fekonia. Congratulations.
Well, just going back to the start of the race and seeing how it developed, always interesting to have another look back and see exactly the passage that the winner took. You can see beautifully settled into midfield, quite deliberately by the jockey, as Oriental King was the first to show up with Sky Emperor. Both of those two faded in the closing stages, as did Bandida Estrelita. And it's the horses who were more towards the rear of the field in the early exchanges who eventually dominated at the end. Those in about 6th or 7th position. The major tactical move in the race was from Ines Löwer on Norea Secundo, who as they went down the far side, really suddenly put the pressure on and came through to try and steal the race very early in exchanges. You could see Norea Secundo at about the halfway point now comes through and picks up the lead and does it pretty effortlessly, really.
Ist gerade Ton?
So here we rejoin them, turning into the home straight with Norea Secundo, who'd kicked on about 5 or 6 lengths clear, and supporters of this horse must have had decent hopes at this time. You can see all of them working quite hard behind, but it was Northern Eclipse's work that provided the dividends. Good finish on the outside from Caviar, although that one just began to fold before Northern Eclipse, and Northern Eclipse, once he'd got to this point, was never going to be caught. Finishing well on the outside, both the favourite Václav and also Earl of Lips, but they were never going to catch Northern Eclipse.
Lauritz Schirgen is with us, another one of the Vincent Schirgen we had last, another one of the Schirgen boys. You just led the winner in this last race, Northern Eclipse. Well done with the ground, well done with the apprentice jockey. Did you think it would be this easy to win the race?
Maybe not that easy, but we were very hopeful. She had a good chance, and she gave her a great ride all the way through the inside, and was a really easy winner today.
So you must be really happy with your apprentice jockey doing so well this year.
Yeah, he's doing amazing. He keeps improving. He's really strong-willed. He likes to learn. He's a really quiet guy, but yeah, I think he'll have a great future.
Do you know where you're going to go next with the Northern Eclipse, or is that something for Dad to decide?
I'm not sure. That's not my job. If she'll run again or if she gets a winter break, but yeah, she's had a good season.
Very great. Congratulations. Thanks for being here. Thanks for leading up the horse. Have a good day, rest of the day.
Thank you.
So that was Laurens Schirgen for us, another one of the Schirgen sons. Peter Schirgen already left because he had to catch his flight, but he left the sons here, so congratulations to the whole team. The jockey is back already as well. He's on tour. Tuganali Ulu is ready for the winning ceremony in this last race of the season here in Munich. And what a season it's been. 2 Group 1 races that are being presented here at this track. The last Group 1 race of the season. Lots of spectators here today who enjoyed this fall race day. With international runners, a great winner in the Group 1 race and now a great winner in this last Class 3 handicap in Northern Eclipse. And we're just waiting for Laurens Schirgen to also finish his German interview, and then we'll be ready for the winning ceremony for Northern Eclipse, who's still here, the 3-year-old filly by Ito, still being led here in the thing. And just a final goodbye from Sascha Multerer, who's our host here, the CEO in Munich. We had a great Group 1 race. Unfortunately, one runner scratched, but we had an international win, a jockey who's basically German, so it's a little bit of both, isn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. We are really happy about the win of Bay City Roller, which shows how competitive the UK guys are here in Germany. So I think we have to stretch a little bit to the sky. Apart, we are really happy about the race day. It was an amazing day. Very, very good spectators, very good mood here. And we hope to welcome the Whirlpool next year again.
Absolutely. You have 2 Group 1 races here. So we hope to already be back in the summer, always in the end of July.
That's it. The great Dallmayr Prize next year in the end of July will be the next appointment, Group 1. And we hope to have you here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
That was Sascha Multerer, the head of the racetrack here in Munich. Hopefully we'll see everyone again at the end, at next year, now ending the season here. And here we have everyone moving on to the winning podium to receive their congratulations for this last race of the year. And we see everyone bringing their prizes and trophies over to the podium. Esantur Tuganali Ulu already ready for the winning ceremony. And we have Kurt Fekonia, the owner, here as well. Congratulations to the whole team receiving trophies now. And prizes now being handed over, the trophies, wine, and also the winning picture being handed over to the victorious team surrounding Northern Eclipse, trained by Peter Schirgen in Cologne and written by apprentice jockey Esantur Tuganali Ulu. And here they are, all the prizes, all the trophies, Mr. Multerer as well, and congratulations to the whole team of Northern Eclipse. Thank you for being with us today. That's it. That was our race day today here in Munich. It was great having all of you. I hope you had an amazing time with us as well. It was a great pleasure to present the races. From Munich for you, thank you to Patrick Faraday for all the insights and commentating our races. And here it is, the highlights of the day.